la ngaphakathi enkantolo ke umsolo oqala umnumzana ke uSibiya manje umnumzana umnisi naye utaqhubeke abuze ke imibuzo la khona khona ke ngelanga elindlule langa la izolo.
As it please the court, my lord. Thank you. Good morning, Brigadier.
Good morning.
Now, Brigadier, just a second. In 2020, you arrest accused number 2, Mr. Ntanzi. You took him to, or you have him taken for dental observation at Rustenburg or somewhere there.
Ngomnyaka ka 2020 ke mnumzana awubrekadile wathola noma wabopha ke umsola wesibili ke umnumzana ka uNtanzi bese wamthatha kwamsa ngaphakathi kwesibhedlela ke sezomcabango Northwest
for dental observation, not mental.
Okay. Ngenhloso ukuthi ke bamcheck ke amazinyo akhe.
Is that correct?
Yeah, iqiniso lelo.
No, partly correct, not 100% correct, my lord. In that, he was arrested on the 16th of June 2020 by Sergeant Mokhane and Mabena. That's the first part.
Yasukuthi akunake iqiniso lelo ngoba iqiniso ukuthi waboshwa ke ngelanga la nge-16 ngenyanga ka June ngomnyaka ka 2020 eboshwa uSergeant Mabena
and Mokhane.
No Sergeant Mokhane futhi.
And that was, and we dealt with this, my lord, previously, and that was in relation to Kwanongoma case, which we also dealt with in this court.
Okay, lokho ke sele lo daba lesiliqoqile la enkantolo futhi waboshwa ngembangeni noma ngenhloso icala abuka abhekane nalo icala laseNongoma noma icala la kwaNongoma.
Now, because some witnesses, my lord, seems to suggest on the docket on this matter now before court that either the first intruder or the second intruder may have had a gold incision, not only one. Some refers to the second suspect. I recall the statement. Another one then refers to the first suspect. Because of that information that we had, he was then taken. Now that I was present now on that directive. I was present on that day, on the 22nd of June 2020 for dental examination. And that is how the witness that came to testify came into the picture. That was to check as to whether, as it's mentioned in the docket, that the second intruder may have had a dental incision, my lord. Sorry, a gold incision, not a dental, a gold incision, my lord.
Ukujobela ke mina nencazelo yakhe ke uyakusho khona njalo ukuthi lapho ke yena ke kade angekho kulanga lokuqala kepha ngelanga lesibili ke ngelanga la nge-22 zaka June unyaka 2020 kula khona nakade akhona ke lapho ke ngoba uma ebuka kuphakathi kwamadocument kwama-statement akhona ke kungaphakathi kwedocket abantu kade bekhona lapho ngaphakathi kuleli khaya lela basho khona njalo ukuthi umuntu owangena ngaphakathi loqala noma wesibili kuyena kade anezinyo legolide kuye.
Yes, so those were the circumstances, my lord, for the dental examination.
Izona ke izathu lezo esaphoqa ukuthi sihambe sigcine senza ke uhlolo lwamazinyo kuye.
What were the results, Brigadier?
Ngabe zahamba njani ke iphumo zalapho
investigation, medical investigation?
Mana nozohlolwa kwakhe udokotela?
My lord, it was negative. I think also we dealt with there was a report, as I said, the witness testified, he indicated what he found, but my recollection of the report, he could not find that there was a dental, rather a gold teeth that was removed, because accused two did not have a gold tooth at the time. So my recollection of the report did not say there was once an artificial object in his gums that was removed. That's my recollection, my lord.
Athi-ke ufakazi ngokukhumbula kwakhe ke lapho ke iphumo zalapho zaphuma zichaza ukuthi cha akukho ke la kade anezinyo legolide ke na ke umsola wesibili ke malana nodaba lwakhe ngoba uvela khona ufakazi osele weza la enkantolo uthola kufakazi bakhe washo khona njalo ke ukuthi cha akukho noma akakaze abe nawo amazinyo egolide ke na ke umsola wesibili.
Thank you, Brigadier. Your recollection is spot on. And that was 6 years after the alleged incident of the killing of the deceased, not so?
Uyabonga ke ummeli ngomalana nokukhumbula kwakhe ke ufakazi okhona phambi kwenkantolo futhi uyasho khona njalo ukuthi lokhu ukukhumbula kwakhe yinto ukhumbule into esele yenzeka ke eminyakeni eyisithupha endlule ngabe akukho njalo ngemuva ukuthi kushone ke umufi osingaye kulecala leli.
Sorry, sir. What I'm saying, that incident of accused number 2 being taken from dental medical observation happened 6 years after the killing of the deceased.
Lapho khona ke isilungiso nje esincane ne kuukuthi ngemuva kweminyaka ezithupha sele kwashona ke umufi kula kwathatha khona ke umsolo wesibili bese wahamba waya kudokotela bomhlola ke malana namazinyo akhe.
And they found that he never had any insect of a golden nature in his teeth.
Bese bathola ke lapho ukuthi akakaze ke abe nezinyo legolide kuyena.
That is correct, my lord.
Thank you.
Yebo iqiniso ke lelo.
Thank you, Brigadier.
Sorry, about gold insets.
Yes, my lord.
Black people in the main, you know, they have cosmetic application onto their dentals.
Yes.
You have never seen a black guy like me
I have.
having a gold teeth.
I have, my lord.
It's not a miraculous phenomenon.
Indeed, my lord.
And
Yes,
after some time, you erase that.
correct, my lord.
We all know that.
Yes.
Just-
That is true, my lord. I've seen that.
Yeah. I see Mr. Ramsepidi is surprised a bit.
I'm not perplexed. Man.
Oh, okay, fine.
What does perplex me is the qualification by His Lordship to say after some time it is taken out.
Yeah, it's fashion.
Yes, but here
Like when
medical
you see a lady with a
piercing.
ring piercing her nose.
Yes.
After some time, she removes that. Same
Yes.
thing with teeth.
Yes, but here medically, in relation to my colleagues' interaction with the witnesses, that medically it was proven that accused number 2 never had such an insertion.
Did you read that medical report?
I did, Dr. Hloko, he was
Okay,
here.
fine.
We crossed
All right.
him.
Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Yes, sir.
Now, document ZZ2 from the gamma scope. You had just indicated that you got this document from Lieutenant Colonel Wood. As you requested him or her to assist you there with Noso.
Istatement ke esikhona ke sakhe exhibit ZZ2 lesa wasithola ke eDagama scope le waqala khona ke uWarren uColonel Watts uthi akuthole sona ke.
The answer, my lord, is correct, but just to close the last part of the gold incision improper. But the answer to the question of Advocate Mnisi is correct. It's yes. But to close the
Athi ke impendulo kaMnumzana uMnisi kuyiqiniso kepha ke ukhulunkulumo egcwele ke qedala lo mpendulo leyo ke.
Awukahle Brigadier. Awukahle.
Can I finish, my lord?
Hlanganisa, just a second. We are messing us around.
May I
That
finish?
issue has been closed. If there is something that you want to bring to the attention of the state, to the court with regard to the golden insert or what, the state will have an opportunity to re-examine you on that. I'm now on the Dagama scope document. I am on the Dagama scope document, and my question relating to the Dagama scope issue is, Lieutenant Wood sent you this document, and you said yes, and I'm proceeding from there. So I don't know what the problem is.
Kade acela ke umeli kaMsola ke wesithathu ukuthi uMnumzana kame kancane ke ngoba angasidiki imicabango ngoba ke kade aqedile kumbuza mina nodaba lamazinyo wegolide uma ngabe kukho ke uthizeni uMnumzana akhohliwe ukuthi akhulu ufakaza akhohliwe ukuthi atshele inkantolo noma inkosi yenkantolo ke ihlangothi lezombuso lothola ke isikhathi esanele sokuthi baphinde bambuze ke imibuzo mina nodaba lolo ke manje ke acithisana ngesiqhubeke sibheke phambili ukhuluma ngodaba le exhibit uZZ2 lela seDagama scope lacala khona ke uLieutenant Colonel Rhodes.
As a court case, my lord, we submit that the witness is entitled to elaborate. We've just dealt with the issue of the dental examination. Now, something has occurred to him, and he wants to go back and elaborate on his answer. We submit, my lord, that the witness is entitled to elaborate on that and should be given the opportunity to elaborate on that, my lord.
Yes, sir. What's your response there?
I'm in the hands of the court, my lord.
You know, we read a case before we started this trial.
Yes.
What's that case of 1927?
It's Pakistan.
Not Pakistan.
Hepworth.
Yeah, we read that case.
Yes, it's Hepworth.
That case, yeah, you can't stop a witness. This is not a game. That's not me saying that. It's that case saying that I'm an administrator of justice and I'm not an umpire in a cricket game or a soccer game. If a witness wants to say anything, he's allowed to do it.
Thank you, my lord.
I mean,
Which is
please.
why I said I'm in the hands of the court, my lord.
Oh, you don't.
He can proceed if there is an elaboration that he needs to do.
Indeed, my lord. Thank you, my lord. So what I wanted to say, my lord, is that as much as we have the medical results from which have indicated what they say in my recollection, in the docket or the investigation, there is no evidence that says the incision, either by the first intruder or the second intruder, was medically inserted. So I just want to qualify that it does not mean we have evidence that the first intruder was taken to a medical practitioner and the gold teeth was medically inserted. So it could have been an artificial one that could have been removed. So I just wanted to qualify that we thought, obviously these are done medically. Let us see what the medical examiner will find. But the absence of the finding does not mean it did not exist in either of the people that were seen, my lord. That's all I needed to say.
Okay, Dr.
Kade jobela ke ingazelo yakhe malana nodaba lolu ke lokuhlolwa kwamsola uqala noma umtholo wesibili owangena ngaphakathi kwemuzi loyana nodaba lakhe lwezinyo lamagolide ke ngoba uyasho ukuthi phakathi kwedocket noma istatement sama docket akukho la kusho khona ukuthi bamthatha yini umuntu oqala okade angena lapho kulomuzi loyana ukuthi bahambe bomhlola ke isimo sakhe samazinyo ke kepha kuyasho khona nje ukuthi kungatholakala ukuthi mhlawumbe isimo sakhe noma isimo kade akusonake waphinda wahamba noma kade afake amazinyo la wafakayo bese ukhona ukuthi uphinde futhi ukuthi wakhiphe la babiza ukuthi ama-artificial ngesingisi.
Brigadier, now you realize you're tempting me to ask you the following questions. You realize that whether or not there was a gold insert on somebody's jaw, that's a medical evidence, not so. You are a brigadier. The doctor said it wasn't there. That's what medical expertise is saying, not so. So your opinion in that regard matters not, because yours is just an opinion from a policeman who has never been a doctor.
Manje kuyasho khona ke umeli ukuthi uphekade ke manje ke usuvula ke umgwaqo ukuthi ke noma uhambe ukuthi aphinde futhi am-challenge noma aphikisane nobufakazi bakhe ke ngoba ke ubrigadier akena ke udokotela unesipiliyoni osebenza ngamazinyo ke futhi noma khona ke uhlelo laba bakhulumile khona ke kulona ukuthi akade kungekho umuntu oda namazinyo egolide.
No, I think, my lord, I don't know where is that statement coming from. I don't know. To say I'm not a doctor, because I never claimed to be a doctor, and I never interpreted what the medical expert said. I simply said the fact that that doctor says there is no medical evidence that there was a gold incision. It does not mean there was no artificial one, because we do not have this side evidence that says the gold incision in any of the intruders was medically inserted. All we have is a description that one of the intruders may have had the gold incision. So here you have a medical report on the end to say, I've examined this person, this is my medical qualifications, and I have this finding. This side you have a description where we do not know if indeed this was medically inserted. That's the point that I'm saying, my lord. So now to say I'm now trying to pose as a doctor, I think it's really uncalled for, because at no stage did I contradict or misinterpret what the medical, the dental surgeon said, my lord.
Uyasho khona njalo kuphendula ke ufakazi okhona ke lenkantolo uthi yena ke akazi ukuthi umuzo uqhamuka kuphi ke ukuthi yena ke akena kudokotela futhi akazi afune lomkhakha kudokotela kepha uyasho khona njalo uthi yena ke mala nofakazi okhona ke futhi naye akaze katulike ke lokuzana ubufakazi ade buthi udokotela la ngaphambi kwenkantolo kepha ke kunento futhi athanda ukuthi atshele inkantolo ukuthi abantu ade bekhona kuleli khaya leliya basho bona ke njalo ukuthi uma besichazela noma besitshela ngesikhangiso sala bokuqala abantu abokuqala abangena phakathi kulo muzi loyana basho ukuthi omunye wabo ke lo muntu owangena phakathi ke kade enezinyo legolide kuyena ke futhi athi khona manje shuthi manje usunamahlangothi amabili ke lapho ke ngoba udokotela yena washo udokotela onesipiliyoni futhi kulomkhakha okusebenza ngamazinyo ke la wachaza khona ke washo etshela inkantolo mana nezinto ayitholile ngesikhathi esikade ahlola ke lo muntu lwathi bemlethe kuyena ke uthi ahlothi ngabe sele abanawo amazinyo egolide noma akazabe nawo washo ukuthi akakaze ke abe nawo ke futhi yasho khona nje ukuthi kungatholakala ukuthi mhlawumbe umuntu kade afake amazinyo la uphinde futhi ukhona ukuthi wakhiphe.
Thank you. Brigadier, your role, as I perceive it, the profession revolves around warning statements, one of which is from the Dagama scope, wherein you said that you requested Rhodes to make Lieutenant Colonel Ruud to make available the statement that is marked ZZ2, and then he or she made it available to you. But then he or she did not tell you from who did she get this document from, not so?
Mnumzana ke manje ethi kulolu daba lolu le statement esaka exhibit ZZ2 lesi sathe saseda Dagama scope la ucela khona ke Lieutenant Colonel Rhodes uthi akutholele sona ke manje sikhangiso ade usihlala ke lapho ke manje ngabe akazakutshela igama lomuntu owamnikeza i statement lesi akusinjalo?
Yes, my lord, it is so, but I went further in my response. That was not the only part. I said I was not requested by Advocate Mnisi insofar as who is handing over that statement. But subsequent, my lord, to the adjourning of yesterday, because I realized this is becoming an issue of debate between us and Advocate Mnisi, I've then embarked on the process to request statements from all the stations where these exhibits were obtained. I do know that one from Prafrenet has already been emailed to us, my lord, and we have it from Prafrenet confirming the exhibit that was given to us. I've embarked on the same approach with Dagamas as well as all other stations, so that then they can indicate that they are the authors of this document and these documents come from them. So that I've embarked on that process, my lord. And as they all become available, I will share with Advocate Mnisi, my lord.
Uyaphendula ke uyasho khona ukuthi yebo khona kunjalo kepha ke uma angajubela ke noma angachaza kabanzi mayelana nencazelo yakhe ke uyasho khona ukuthi ubonile ukuthi izolo manje sekuzoba nengqoqo mpikiswano phakathi kwakhe ufakazi okhona ke futhi nomeli adabuza ke imibuzo ke futhi yasho khona ukuthi izolo usuthathe ke uhambo lwakhe lokuthi ahambe acele izikhumulo zamaphoyisa la kade bemlethela khona ke ama statement lana ke ekuthizeni babhale ke ama statement basho ukuthi ngempela nangeqiniso yibona laba kade bemsiza ekuthizeni ke athole ama statement lana ke futhi wazojobelela washo khona nje ukuthi izolo ugcine athola ke i statement esiqhamuka lapha eGrafreinet laba khuluma khona ukuthi umuntu othizeni uyena ke obalekelile ekuthizeni bathole ke i statement lesi athi unayo ke email ayiseyitholile futhi nakumanye ama police station la athola ama statement khona lana ke nakhona obabhalele.
Brigadier, that was not my question. You just said a sermon, our Father who art in heaven, and you said it in Latin. Brilliant. My question is simply that you said yesterday that Lieutenant Ruud did not tell you or did not bring it to your attention who did he or she get this document from, not so. I'm just recapping on what happened yesterday, not so.
I think those remarks can be ignored. Once again, my lord, it's important for counsel to extend courtesy to a witness. The witness was asked a question and he has answered to his best endeavors. Now, this somewhat demeaning proposition is made to a witness. We submit that that is uncalled for, and Advocate Mnisi should withdraw that.
But there is absolutely nothing which is demeaning here. There's nothing wrong, my lord. That's my submission.
Finding there is something wrong about it. This witness never recited the Lord's Prayer. Now you can continue.
It's a what do they call it now, my lord?
It's sarcasm.
It's not sarcasm.
For me, it's sarcasm.
That's the interpretation of the court. No,
yes.
Thank you, my lord.
And
But my question
I
was
know
very
English.
Yes, my lord.
In other words, this witness is being belittled.
No.
That's my view.
Thank you, my lord. My question is simple. Yesterday you said Ruud gave you this document, but Ruud never told you who he or she got this document from. Not so. That's my simple question, and that's what you said yesterday.
Athi umbuzo wakhe ummeli athi umbuzo wakhe futhi umbuzo nje oqondile futhi onciphile ukuthi izolo ngesikhathi ulethe inkulumo yakho noma usitshela mayelana nenkulumo yakho ke mayelana nestatement leso wasitshela ukuthi uRods akakazi akutshele igama lomuntu lo wamnikeza istatement lesi. Asinjalo?
My lord, because really I don't know, because I've said this so many times about the manner in which Advocate Mnisi really wants to deal with issues, and I've pleaded with him that can we focus on the business of hand without being just play the ball and not the man. That's all that I'll ask, my lord. Insofar as the question that was asked, I've answered the question. I do not understand this selective listening by Advocate Mnisi, because I've answered the question. I've said yes, I agree with you. Added, which is now deemed or termed to be the Lord's Prayer, and it's a big difference. I don't know how do you compare what I'm saying before court with the Lord's Prayer, even if then you don't believe in God. I just don't see how you narrate the two. I've answered the question as it was asked to me, and not for the first time. I think today is the third time I've answered the question affirmatively to say this is what I've said yesterday. But then I've qualified it to say to avoid the debate that I could see yesterday that we are driving to. I then embarked on the process of requesting statements from all the stations where these exhibits come from. That's the only thing that I've added, but the question was answered, my lord. Now to say I did not say that and I'm embarking on the Lord's Prayer is really unbecoming, even of Advocate Mnisi as a court official, my lord. And I will just ask that can we please focus on the business at hand and stop arguing on pertinent issues.
Uyasho khona njalo ke ufakazi ukuthi ukhulumile ke izolo ngesikhathi esikade umnumzana Mnisi ke ambuza mayelana nombuzo loyo ke washo ukuthi kwimpendulo yakhe kuyebo kepha ke lo daba lokuthi umnumzana Mnisi aze ngalo ke namuhla lokhu ukuthi umnumzana manje usiyagijima ke futhi manje usegcina ke asho kumkhuleko lona ke ukudaba mhlawumbe okungamele ukuthi lona ke kube uyalisho ke lenkantolo ngoba ke yena ke uyasho nje ukuthi wabona noma ubonile ukuthi umnumzana omele komsola wesithathu usufuna uhamba ngoluphi uhlangothi kulagcina khona ke ebhalela ke izikhumulo zamaphoyisa la uthola khona ke ama statement lana ke noma ama exhibit lana ke kuthizema ambhala ama statement basho ukuthi yibo abobani futhi yibo kade bemenzela ke lo daba lo esingalo la enkantolo ke lama statement futhi ecela ukuthi manje sigcinize kodaba lo esingalo la enkantolo siyekele olunye udaba.
And lastly, my lord, my understanding of myself and Advocate Mnisi as court officials, I thought we are here to assist the court in coming to the truth. And I don't understand why now, if I want to indicate something which I think will assist the court in getting a clear picture, that information must be suppressed. What do you have to hide? We are here to assist the court with the facts. And all that I'm saying arise from the questions that are being asked, and then I will narrate so that the picture is clear. I don't just come and say something that does not come or arise from the questions that are put to me.
Uyasho ukuthi ukugcina ke uyasho ukuthi yena ke futhi nommeli umnumzana Mnisi udaba labo kumele ukuthi balenze le nkantolo esikhangiso ukuthi basidlale le nkantolo ukuthi balekelele inkantolo ethizini bagcine bethola ke iqiniso ngokuletha amaqiniso kuphela phambi kwenkantolo futhi adubeleke inkantolo isithombe esicace bha.
Yes.
Yilokho ke kuphela.
I'm not so sure whether you're done, Brigadier. I think it seems to me like you've got a lot that is in your chest that you want to take out. You may proceed to take it out.
No,
be very patient before I start with my cross-examination.
No, you can start. I'm done, my lord. Like I said, all I want and the plea that I'm making is that can we focus on the business at hand and leave pertinent issues, my lord? Because if I can do the same thing to Advocate Mnisi, it will not sit well. And I think as court officials, both of us, him and I, and Sina for that matter, at this level, we can at least maintain the decorum of this court and just focus on the issues at hand. That's all that I'm asking for him, to maintain the decorum of the court, because I'll give him the same courtesy and then deal with the issues that are beforehand.
uyasho khona njalo ukuthi kade yasho umeli ukuthi uyabona ngathi mhlawumbe umnumzana ufakazi okhona phambi kwenkantolo kaqedile ngenkulumo yakhe ke bese wathi ufakazi cha uqedile ke kepha kuyacela ukuthi manje kwisikhathi esikusona ke azigxinize kudaba esingalo la enkantolo sekele olunye udaba olungaquki into zala enkantolo ngaphakathi ngoba bona babili ke abasebenzi benkantolo.
I'm done, my lord. Sorry.
Futhi ecela ukuthi basebenze ngendlela nje eqondile futhi ngendlela ke bayaphathe ngendlela ekahle ekuthizini batshengakale noma basitshengise ukuthi bona ke abasebenzi benkantolo.
You've got anything further,
Yebo
Brigadier?
uqedile ke uyasho ukuthi uqedile ke
Oh,
ufakazi.
Thank you. Back to Dagamaskop. Now, do you realize that the document that you received from Wood, from Dagamaskop, that's got no police insignia?
It's got no what?
Police insignia. I-badge yamaphoyisa.
Ngabe uma sibenza kudaba lolu ke likhona la phambi kwenkantolo ke le exhibit ZZ2 la seDagamaskop ayikho ke la ibadge yesiphoyisa ngaphakathi ibadge yamaphoyisa.
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo iqiniso ke lelo.
Thank you. For now, let us put aside Dagamaskop. Let's go to ZZ3.
Yeah, but my lord, sorry. Yes, we can go to ZZ3, but that does not mean it's not a police document. It is a police document because I have seen, in my experience, warning statement without a police insignia, which are coming from the police. So what I can say, this is a warning statement that is being used at the time when Colonel Roth obtained it, and hence I said we will get an affirmation in the form of a statement from that station.
Uyasho khona njalo ke umnumzana ukuthi yebo asikho lana isitembe samaphoyisa ngaphambi siqhubeke siye lapho ku exhibit ZZ3 uyasho khona njalo ukuthi uma ngaba ke angasitshela kabanzi mayana nencazelo yakhe ke la ngaphakathi isitembe asikho kepha uma kungafika ama statement akhona ke la qhamuka lapho eDagamaskop noma kulama police station ehlukene kula sothi khona incazelo ukuthi kungani isitembe samaphoyisa kade singekho la ngaphakathi lo hlelo lwe exhibit ZZ2.
You'll tell me when you're done.
I'm done, my lord.
Ungitshela uqedile ke bese ufakazi yasho ukuthi uqedile.
Thank you. Now, just to recap again, yesterday, you told the court that you do not know of any authority that say a specific document must be used when a warning statement gets taken from a suspect, not so?
Izolo ukhulumile ukuthi wena ke awusho ushilo ukuthi umthetho othizeni awukho osho ukuthi kwamele ukuthi idocument abasebenzisile kwamele. The last part, please, my lord. The last part, please. Can you please rephrase the last part?
Oh, I'm saying, you told the court yesterday that there's no authority that says what specific document must be used when a warning statement gets taken from a witness, not so? I mean, from a suspect, not so?
Izolo ukhulumile ukuthi malana nodaba lama warning statement akukho ke umthetho othizeni okhethekile othi kumele usebenzise kuma nabe thatha ama statement kubasolo.
I've said, my lord, there is no authority that prescribes a specific document as the only document that must be used when a warning statement must be taken. And I even refer to the booklet that we're dealing with, the 3M, that it is not prescribed as the only document that must be used by SAPS. To date, as I'm standing here, when you take a warning statement, there is no such authority, my lord.
Uyasho ukuthi akukho ke umthetho othizeni okhethekile ukuthi bawulandele noma mhlawumbe idocument elithizeni ekumele ukuthi balandeleke uma ngabe thatha ama statement ke kubasolo mhlawumbe kuyiboshwa ke waza washo ukuthi ufika kwisikhathi esikusona ke manje uma ngabe kakhuluma ngebooklet yakhona ke akukho lokho kubhaliwe kuyona.
Thank you. ZZ3.
Uyabonga ke umeli athi asike lapho ku ZZ3.
This document, ZZ3, it's written South African Police Service, and there's an Afrikaans version, South Afrikaanse police teams. It's a warning statement by suspect, and then apparently it's written Graf Reinet case. I assume this came from Graf Reinet, not so?
Uyasho ukuthi lapho ke ku exhibit ZZ3 babhale lapho ukuthi South African Police Service siyafutha bhala futhi ngelimi lesibhunu khona ke lapho ke bese ngenzansi babhala ukuthi Graf Reinet bese bathi case. Uyasho kuyacama ukuthi le document eqhamuka lapho kwisikhumulo samaphoyisa sase Graf Reinet ngabe akusinjalo yini?
That is correct, my lord.
Yebo kunjalo.
Now, from Graf Reinet, who assisted you with this document?
Manje kuqhamuka lapho ke kwisikhumulo samaphoyisa sase-Graaff-Reinet ngabe ubani okulekelile ngale document leli?
This one also, my lord, was coordinated by Colonel Roth, and subsequent to that, the statement that I said was emailed from Graaff-Reinet, because I said I've made a request. So the statement from Graaff-Reinet, from the people who actually gave this document to Colonel Roth, have responded and have sent us the email. So with the statement of confirming this document, so that I have.
Bekubuza ukuthi ngabe i-document leli ubani owamcela ukuthi akusize ekuthizeni gcineke ulithola uyasho ukuthi uRoth Lieutenant Colonel Roth kepha ke washo ukuthi uma angajobela futhi incazelo yakhe ke khona lapho ke bekakhulumile ngokuthi bekabhalile ke i-email ebhala ke isikhumulo samaphoyisa sase-Graaff-Reinet la khona ke basheshe baphendula ke mayelana nodaba lwakhe kade abacela lona ke kulesibhalo sakhe se-email kade babhalele yona ke futhi bam-emailele yona ke futhi ile iPad la ke na ekuthizeni basho ukuthi yibo abamlekelela ngale statement lesi.
I think my question is very succinct. It relates to the person who wrote this document for Road to come and give it to you. I want the name of that person at Graaff-Reinet who gave Road this document.
Ummeli yasho ukuthi umuzwa kumuzo nje unciphile futhi omfishane la khona kade abuza khona ukuthi ngabe igama lomuntu lo owanika uRoth statement lesi ubani kuphela.
My lord, I'm answering the question. I'm saying, in light of what transpired yesterday, and I've said this, I embark on the process to support this document with an affidavit from the relevant station. Subsequent to that, an affidavit from Graaff-Reinet. So the document first came from Colonel Roth, as I've said. But subsequent to that, there's a statement from Graaff-Reinet that attached the same document from the people of Graaff-Reinet confirming that this is what they are using. So you have Colonel Roth who produced this document when it was marked to me, and she didn't give me the name, but subsequently Graaff-Reinet themselves have now responded attaching the same warning statement to say this is what they are using, my lord.
Uyasho ukuthi khona ke yebo kunjalo kepha ke uma ngembangela elodaba liqhamukile ke la inkantolo izolo ke nophambi kwenkantolo ke yena ke uthathe uhambo lwakhe lokuthizeni agcine ke bhala ke zonke izikhumulo zamaphoyisa lezi abathola kuzona ke ama warning statement khona ke abacela ukuthi bamenzele ke uhlelo lo affidavit khona ke basho ukuthi yibo abobani futhi bamlekelela kanjani ithizeni ke athole ke ama statement lana ke futhi wajobela ngeincazelo yakhe washo khona njalo ke ngesikhathi sibakachaza khona ke lapho ke ukuthi ke ngemuva kwalokho ke yena ke utholile ke imininingwane yabantu mhlawumbe incazelo malana nohlelo lwaffidavit lababhale khona ke eGraaff-Reinet bembhalela futhi bephendula ngohlelo lwe-email.
And this document is available, my lord. I've already in the morning shared with the state.
Have you given it to the prosecutor?
Yes, I did, my lord.
Uyasho khona njalo ukuthi document leli ke uklikhona lapha kwenkantolo futhi nomshushisi okhona enkantolo sekamphile le document leli buthi bese inkosi enkantolo kuzo ukuthi ngabe umshushisi wenkantolo ulithole yini le document washo ukuthi yebo ulithole.
Brigadier, you have been lamenting that you should be treated with dignity, respect and courtesy. Those features are earned. I'm asking you a simple question. Who from Graaff-Reinet gave Rood this document? Who then Rood in turn gave it to you? I want the name of that person who gave Rood this document in Graaff-Reinet. I don't want a lot of things. The name.
Uyasho khona ke ummeli efakaza ukuthi yena ke bukhulumile wona fakaza ukuthi la inkantolo kumele siphathane ngenhlonipho futhi nangokuthobeka siyithobe la inkantolo kepha ke into wena ungaphani ngencazelo ende noma mhlawumbe incazelo eningi kepha ke into ayifuna kuwena ke afuna ukuyizwa kuwena ukuthi ubani igama lalomuntu owacelwa uRoth noma owanika uRoth istatement lesi saka exhibit ZZ2 bese ZZ3 no2 bese uRoth weza nazo la kuwena ke igama lomuntu lokuphela alifunayo.
My lord, I've answered the question. I don't know how best can I answer it. I've answered
Who
the question.
did you say is the name of the person?
Can
So
I,
if
can
you
I
answered
still,
it.
but I'm still talking, Advocate Mnisi. I've answered the question and I've said I got the document from Lieutenant Colonel Roth. No name was given, and I've indicated from yesterday that there was no request. Advocate Mnisi, when he made a request to me, he said I must assist insofar as obtaining these documents for him. No request was made that I must also get the name as to where they come from and the police insignia. Now, an impression is given as if now we've collected certain things without collecting them properly, whereas he made a specific request, and when I'm telling him I've made the request, because if the issue, my lord, is the authenticity, and that's why I dealt with it yesterday, as to where these documents are coming from, I've made that request as to where they're coming from. The documents are coming. If that is in question, we can collect those documents and then we can carry on. But an impression must not be given as if we selected what we get. There was no request from Advocate Minister for me to get the names of the people who are giving us these documents. It was only to say, you may now assist us. But after long up and down, assist us now in getting the documents. No name was requested. As a result, my lord, I never made such a request to Colonel Rhodes. She would have done it if I had asked to say, get me the name or get the statement or the chain as to where these things are coming from. That is why I embark on that process, my lord, and I have the results from Prafrenet.
Uyasho kade abuza ukuthi ngabe ubani igama lalomuntu owapha ke uLieutenant Colonel Rhodes istatement lesike. Uyasho cha igama lena ke akazi bamtshela ukuthi ubani ke loyo ke, kepha ukukhumule khona njalo ukuthi umnumzana ukummail umadvocate umnisike yena ke wacela ukuthi sicela ukuthi usilekelele noma ke usize ngalolu daba ukuthi usithule ama statement ke, uma ngabe sele asho ukuthi ucela ukuthi simthule namagama ukuthi abubani abantu ade besilekelela ukuthi sithule ama statement lana ke, ngabe lokho ngabe nalokho sele sakwenza ke manje umnumzana usufuna athi ufakazi umnumzana ufuna kubukeke ngathi yena bona ke manje benze umsebenzi bengaqedile ngendlela efanele noma ngendlela eqondile ke lapho ke malana nohambo lwabo noma uhambo lwabo lokuthola ke ama statement lana ke futhi ke uyasho kanje ukuthi ngemuva kwenkulumo eqhamukile la enkantolo yena ke kulabone khona ukuthi manje bazohamba ngolohlangothi lokuthi kwamele bathule ke amagama lawo ke futhi kula khona ke agcine ke bhala ke izikhumulo zamaphoyisa zonke ke lezi abathole kuzo kama statement la ukuthi zini bakuthi bamlekelele babhala ama affidavit basho ukuthi yibo abamlekelele abobani ke lapho.
Are you done already?
Ngabuqedile fakazi?
Yes, I'm done, man.
Thank you.
Yebo ngiqedile.
So briefly, what is your answer? Is you do not know the name of the person.
Ngokufishane nje shuthi awulazi igama lomuntu.
What I know, my lord, is that Stephanus Kruger is the one who disposed an affidavit after my request, attaching and confirming that the document that Colonel Rhodes gave me is the one that they are using at Prafrenet. That is as per this affidavit. Insofar as what Colonel Rhodes, which is similar affidavit, I mean a warning statement, she didn't give me the name, my lord. That's why I've said this, because it was not requested. But Stephanus Kruger, a police officer from Prafrenet, confirms that this is the document that they are using, and this affidavit coming from Prafrenet is the one that I said I've given to the state, my lord, in the morning, so that he can share with the defense.
Uyasho khona njalo ke ufakazi ukuthi yena ke ngolwazi lakhe analo ke esikhathini samanje ke uStephanie Kruger uyena ke omlekelile noma mhlambi uyena ke wamsiza wasiza ke uLieutenant Colonel Rhodes ithizini kagcine ke thola ke statement lesike futhi likhona kuhlelo lwaffidavit olukhona phambi kwenkantolo ke ufakazi asele alethile ngaphambi kwehlangothi lezoshushiso.
So
ethizini ihlangothi lezoshushiso bese alekelele abameli abakhona phambi kwenkantolo.
So there's an affidavit that was deposed to by Stephanus Kruger, who is the one that sent this document to Rhodes. Yeah, I mean to Rhodes. Is that what you're saying?
Ngabe usho ukuthi khona ke afihlelo affidavit olukhona ke la olubhaliwe uStephanie Kruger asho ukuthi la kade achaza khona noma asho khona ke ukuthi uyena ke walekelela uLieutenant Colonel Rhodes ethizini athole ke statement lesi. Ngabe inkulumo yakho leyo?
No, it's not what I'm saying, my lord. I'm saying Colonel Rhodes, insofar as exhibit both exhibit 22, I mean ZZ2 and ZZ3, she didn't give me the name. In the process of embarking and trying to curtail what we're going through in establishing where are these documents coming from, I then thought it will be in the interest of justice for me to go to these stations, contact them and request them to confirm the type of warning statements accompanied by a statement, so that there's no dispute as to where these documents are coming from. And I'm saying in light of that, Prafrenet, then under Mr. Stephanus Kruger, disposed an affidavit attaching a document similar to the one that Colonel Rhodes sent to me to say, this is what we are using, this is what we've been using, and this is what we are currently using when we take warning statements.
Sorry, can I have a unless I'm accused of colluding. Can I have a cite of a document you're referring to?
Yes, my lord.
Because you're referring to a statement, an affidavit, and apparently Mr. Baloyi has got that. Mr.
that's
Mr.
also-
Pidi, you have it also. And Ms. Sololo has it, and Mr. Mnisi has it, and I'm the only person who doesn't have this document. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, my lord. I'm not so sure what the court is talking about. I don't have an affidavit. It has not been handed to me.
Yeah, fine. You didn't give it to
We
Mr.
give
Mnisi.
it to everyone and is there
He says you never gave it to him.
on other
No, he never
papers.
gave it to me, my lord. There are papers that are lying around here, so I don't know what is it that they are here for.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Mr. Baloyi never brought that to my attention and said, this is what is from...
Yeah.
this is what is happening."
Hey,
kade yasho
You never gave it to me. Just be sincere with the court.
okay, I have the document and I'm going to place the contents on record. It's from a certain Ruth Mariki. So she's a lieutenant colonel, Miss Ruth.
Yes,
It's
from my
not a
office.
constable.
No, it's
a very
lieutenant
senior
colonel. Indeed,
police.
my lord.
Yeah, lieutenant colonel
Yes.
Ruth Meiki. She's part of the National Cold Case Unit. And she cites herself as a lieutenant colonel. Sent on Tuesday, the 21st January 2025 at 9:19 to the National Cold Case Unit. The subject is forward re-warning statement. On the body of the note, on the 21st January 2025, 8:03, EC Grafrenet, Detective Kruger, HS, who is a warrant officer apparently, was written a letter. Goeie môre, kolonel. He wrote a letter.
Yes, my lord.
Ven aangeheg soos per u versoek. And it is signed, well, it's not signed, it's noted by Stefan Kruger, who apparently is a detective warrant officer. And he's a group leader, detectives, Grafrenet, SAPS. He's got his 2 cell phone numbers on the document.
inkosi enkantolo lapho kade ifunda ke mayelana nodaba lwestatement la ababhalile lapho phezulu ukuthi NTA la kumele khona ukuthi National Cold Case Unit bathi bathi umhloko B bese bathi Lieutenant Colonel bese ngenzanga bathi iqhamuka kubani ke from iqhamuka kubani ke base ukuthi la iqhamuka ku road Mergy Lieutenant Colonel bese bathi ithunyelwe kubani ke bese bathi ithunyelwe ngelanga la nge-21 ngolwesibili ke 21 mhla ka-21 ngoJanuary 2025 ngesikhathi isikhathi sakhona ke lapho ke imizuzu ewu-19 ngemuva kwehora la ka-9 kusasa bathi 2 besathi National Cold Case Unit bese ngenza athi subject lapho bathi forward re-warning statement bese ngenzansi basho ukuthi khona ke ngelanga la nge-21 zaka January ngomnyaka 2025 ngesikhathi semizuzu ewu3 ngemuva kwehora la ka8 bese wathi EC Grafrenet detectives lapho khona ukuthi babhale khona ukuthi warrant officer uKruger osebenza ngaphansi kwezesiphoyisa nale nombhalo wakhe wama email khona uKruger h7@saps.gov.za bese ubhalile athi lapho ke ngenza ngolwimi lesibhunu athi goeie môre Colonel sawubona Colonel bese ngenzansi basabhala ke ngelimi lesibhulu futhi ke athi malana nesicelo sakho kuma sisisa kulwimi lesizulu base ngenzansi babhala ukuthi khona ke Stephanie Kruger oku warrant officer bese wathi group leader bathi detectives Grafrenet subs usabhasha ke imininingwane yakhe inombolo zocingo.
Right, it's actually a note which I think I should read because there's to and froing about a simple statement written by one Harold Kruger, declares under oath I'm an adult male, born on the 16th of July 1971. He gives his identity number, and it says he resides at 14 Lupcha Street, Grafrenet. He gives his cell phone number. I'm employed as a detective warrant officer at Grafrenet SAPS Detective Branch. And then he also gives the telephone number. And then he cites what he calls a Percial number. And then it goes on and says, save where the converse appears to, from the context, the facts contained in this affidavit fall within my personal knowledge and are to the best of my belief both accurate, true, and I'll be liable to prosecution if any facts contained herein is not to my knowledge and or belief, or it's false and inaccurate. I'm the group leader of the Grafrenet Detective Unit, and as such, I oversee all daily tasks and duties of the detectives under my command. One of my duties is to ensure continuity and ensure that dockets sent to court are done so in a proper and legal manner. This includes ensuring that documents we use are approved by the South African Police Management, as well as acceptable to the members of the Justice Department. We are presently using an adapted warning statement, and it is widely accepted in our district. The advocate of our regional court at the time of introducing the updated warning statement, Mr. D. Bacchus, had approached us with concerns regarding shortcomings in the warning statements we were using. He stated that it did not conform to Section 35 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. A short while later, we received the present warning statement from his office. And in conjunction with myself, we managed to compress the contents into the present 3-page document, which encompasses all the requests of the court. Each police station had previously used a standard warning statement, which was both in English and Afrikaans, but this one did not conform, so we discontinued the use of that one and opted for the new revised one, which is presented only in English as per the national instructions. Attached, find a copy of the warning statement currently being used at Grafrenet SAPS. And then it's taken an oath, and it is signed by himself. And he says, I certify that the deponent has acknowledged that he knows and understands the contents of the declaration which was sworn to before me, and the deponent signs, and it was placed thereon in my presence at Grafrenet. And the Commissioner of Oaths, who attested this document, has also signed. And it is attached to what is said to be a warning statement by a suspect, a form, that is. In this form, suppose it is a specimen which the gentleman refers to. All right? Can you give this citation, Mr. Balui? Yeah.
It will be exhibit, I'm sorry, it will be exhibit ZZ3 in brackets A.
Kati funda khona lapho ke inkosi enkantolo udaba umalana nohlelo lwe-affidavit oluqhamuka lapho-ke eGraaf-Reinet olubhaliwe khona-ke lapho-ke Graaf-Reinet case 33/01/2024 bese wabhala lapha ngenzansi ukuthi-ke lapho-ke uHarold Stephens Kruger uye kobhalile la ngaphansi kwesifungo ebhala-ke ngolwimi lwesingisi-ke la asho khona-ke ukuthi yena-ke umuntu omdala-ke owesilisa-ke bambeletha ngomnyaka ka-1971 ngenyanga yesikhombisa-ke lapho-ke ngelanga lange-16 bese wabhala-ke lapho-ke inombolo zikamazisi wakhe-ke khona lapho-ke waqhubeka futhi washo ukuthi yena-ke uhlala kuphi-ke nendawo ikhila kalibhalile lapho-ke unumber 14 Lupcha Street lapho-ke uyasho ukuthi uhlala khona-ke eGraaf-Reinet usabhala-ke imininingwane-ke lapho-ke inombolo zakhe zocingo-ke washo ukuthi ngosebenza ngaphansi kwezesiphoyisa isikhundla sebenza kusona-ke isikhundla sokuphenya amacala wabo-detective warrant officer lapho-ke ngaphansi kwesikhumulo samaphoyisa saseGraaf-Reinet uyasho khona njalo ukuthi yena-ke usebenza ngaphansi kwe-detective branch lapho-ke eGraaf-Reinet bese wabhala-ke inombolo zehhovisi lakhe lasebenza la khona-ke futhi wabhala-ke ney'nombolo zakhe ze-personal number yakhe inombolo ayisebenzisayo uma ngabe efika-ke lapho emsebenzini-ke bese waqhubeka washo khona-ke ngenzansi ukuthi lapho paragraph number 2 ubhalile-ke khona-ke lapho-ke ngolwimi lwesingisi-ke phambi ngokuthi ngitoli-ke ngolwimi lwesiZulu-ke khona-ke uyasho ukuthi lapho-ke gcina lokhu oqhamuka lapho mina okutshengakala lapha ngaphakathi kule text ekhona-ke futhi noqukethwe nokhona bakufakile ngaphakathi kule affidavit lona-ke kuwela ngaphakathi ulwazi lwami ngoba futhi naphakathi kwenkolo yami futhi konke lokuyiqiniso futhi kuhamba kahle-ke uma ngaze kube nenkinga-ke lapho-ke mina ngiyothi ngibe khona-ke thizeni enkantolo ingishushise mayelana nalo daba lolu uma ngabe akulona-ke iqiniso leli olukhona la ngaphakathi-ke uyasho ukuthi yena-ke usebenza ngaphansi kweqembu kuye-ke uyena-ke ohola-ke iqembu laseGraaf-Reinet labo-ke abasishi bamacala la sebenza khona-ke futhi bavame ukuthi babheke-ke ukusebenza kwezinto noma indlela abasebenza ngayo-ke lapho-ke umsebenzi wabo wenzayo njengokuthi yena-ke uyena ohole phambili iqembu labasishi lapho-ke futhi uyasho khona njalo ukuthi wena basebenza lapho-ke futhi basebenza kakhulu-ke mayelana namadokhethi ahamba phakathi kwabo futhi namadokhethi asuka lapho-ke ahamba kuze-ke aya enkantolo ngoba la kukhona-ke basebenza mayelana namadokhumenti lana-ke ngoba futhi avumelekile ngaphansi kwe-management ekhona-ke lapha kwa-SABC futhi eyakwamukela-ke lokho-ke futhi asho ukuthi lapha kule sigodi sabo basebenza ngalo hlelo lolu alibhalile khona lana-ke waqhubeka washo ukuthi abameli futhi noma ama-advocate akhona-ke lapho enkantolo ephakeme khona-ke lapho e-regional court futhi esikhathini sakhona-ke bafika kena-ke bamlethela-ke uhlelo lolu lwama-warning statement osele lushintshiwe-ke cha not lo kade belisebenzisa-ke kudala-ke futhi lapho-ke uMr D loyo kade amlethele okade aya kuyena-ke amlethele lolo hlelo lolo-ke futhi lwela ngaphansi kwezomthetho lapho ku-section 35 la eNingizimu Afrika washo ukuthi khona njalo-ke kade kudala besebenzisa-ke lokhu zama-warning statement abhalwe ngolimi lesingisi futhi ngolimi le-Afrikaans kepha khona manje wasebenzisa-ke lokhu okubhalwe ngolimi lesingisi nje kuphela-ke bese ngenzansi washo ukuthi uyafunga futhi uyagoma ukuthi uyena uthathile le statement lesi-ke ngemuva kwalokho bese kwaba no-commissioner of oath bese-ke commissioner-ke lapha-ke le document leli-ke ngomnyaka ka-2025 yinyanga yokuqala ngelanga lange-21 bese wasicommissiona nesikhathi wasibhale lapho-ke imizuzu u-35 ngemuva kwehora lesikhombisa-ke bese u-commissioner of oath naye wasicommissiona-ke la ngemuva kule document leli-ke kukhona-ke ilokuzana bathi South African Police Services besathi a warning statement by suspect.
Yes,
Thank you, Brigadier. Honestly, this has never been brought to my attention. As you were saying, that there's an affidavit that you had handed to the state. I thought that the state would still come and hand it over to her. It's never been brought to. Otherwise, I would not have insisted on the name of the person who received this document from. Do you understand?
Uyabonga-ke ummeli futhi uyabonga kakhulu athi uma ngabe-ke ihlangothi lezokushushiso kade bemlethele ku-document leli bekangekhe kaqhubeke futhi akubuza ukuthi ngabe ubani umuntu owalekelela-ke uLieutenant Colonel Roth ekuthizeni atholeke istatement lesi.
My Lord, I understand the response, but this is what I try to explain over and over again in my response. Because in my response, because that's exactly why then me and Advocate Mnisi then end up bumping it, because he tend to think I'm explaining unnecessary things. Yet, I explain things that I think he doesn't understand. Because I could see that there seems to be a gap from what I have and what he's telling me. I knew there was an affidavit, I knew that he should have it, and it was clear that he's asking me what it should be before him. But I do understand, my Lord.
athi ke ufakazi yakuzwisisa ke lokho ke futhi kepha ke bekazama ke uletha incazelo yakhe isikhathi ngesikhathi noma amahlandla ahlukile lapho ithi agcina ke amtshela khona ke ngoba bekazwa ke imibuzo ngesikhathi esikade abuzwa khona njalo betshangala ngathi umnomzana advocate Mnisi akazi ukuthi lo hlelo lolu noma akacabanga ukuthi sele analo kuyena ke ngoba kube bekanalo ke bebangeke banquzane ngamakhanda ngalolu daba lolu lwama statement noma lo daba lokuthi ubani umuntu obhalile.
Yeah, thank you. Although the court took the liberty to read the content of this affidavit into record, but what is contained in paragraph 4, it's simply an indication that this document does not come from South African Police Services. It's a creation of what Graaf Reinet is, a creation of Graaf Reinet Police Station, and in conjunction with prosecution. Thank you.
Ngiyakuzwa ke mnumzana kepha lokho kubhaliwe la ngaphakathi ko paragraph 4 kujangala ngathi akuyona ke umgomo abasebenza noma kulona kuhlelo uqhamuka ngaphansi kwezesiphoyisa sala iningizimu Afrika ke kepha uhlelo uqhamuka ngaphansi kwezesiphoyisa sase Graaf Reinet futhi nenkantolo yalapho.
Yes, my lord, but it confirms what I've said. There is no prescribed form according to the standing orders of the South African Police. It's exactly, paragraph 4 confirms exactly that, my lord.
Yes, ukuthi yebo khona kunjalo aqhamuke ngaphansi kwezesiphoyisa ke kepha no paragraph 4 yasitshela kabanzi ngalokho.
Thank you. This now we're making a bit of a progress. Now let's go to ZZ4.
Can I please?
It's a document from Nelspruit.
Document SABC lapho ku ZZ4 document iqhamuka kwesikhumulo samaphoyisa sase Nelspruit.
Apparently it's from the South African Police Services. Was it has got a South African Police insignia. It's also written there South African Police Service. It's a warning statement by a suspect that is from Nelspruit. Now again, similar exercise from Nelspruit. Who did you get this document from?
Lapho ku ZZ4 istatement isiqhamuka lapho ke ngaphansi kweziphoyisa sase Nelspruit abhala khona ukuthi South African Police Services bese ngenzansi bathi Nelspruit futhi kunestembe seziphoyisa ke manje base babhalela ngaphakathi manje umbuzo ukuthi ngabe wasithola kubani le statement lesi.
So this one, my lord, was requested, so I'll put the sequence of events. This was requested, rather the member from my office, Sergeant Mongo specifically. I think it's before court, yes. Because he's doing investigation that side, he was tasked by me to say he must then check in Nelspruit as to what type of a warning statement. So the warning statement ZZ4 was received or given to me through Sergeant Mongwe, but no name as well as to who gave it to him. And as I said, my lord, no request of the names were given to me. But subsequent to yesterday's proceedings, the same exercise that I've embarked on in Graaf Reinet, it has been done with Nelspruit, and we will be getting an affidavit to that effect. But to answer specifically, Sergeant Mongo from my office was tasked to get this document and is the one that made it available to us. He didn't give me the name as to who gave it to him because there was no such request, my lord.
Uyasho khona njalo ufakazi mana nencazelo yakhe noma mana nempendulo yakhe ukuthi lapho ke statement lesi saka exhibit ZZ4 basithola ke ku Sergeant uMongwe uyena ke ngoba kade bamcelile ukuthi akahambe akwenza ke ukuphenya kwamacala ngale Nelspruit ke wacela yena ukuthi amtholeleke istatement lapho ke Nelspruit futhi akakaze amtshele igama lomuntu owamnikeza sona noma owamupha sona le statement lesi ngokepha ke ngemuva kohlelo la izolo la enkantolo noma ngemuva kokuhlala kwala enkantolo ke izolo ke uthathe uhambo lo olufana nohambo lo sele alithathile mayelana nodaba la ka exhibit ZZ3 lokuthi ke agcine ke athola ke lokuzani affidavit eqhamuka lapho ke Nelspruit la basho khona ke ukuthi abobane noma igama lalomuntu othizeni owasiza ke umnomzana uSergeant Mongwe ekuthizeni ke agcina athola ke istatement lesi saka exhibit ZZ4.
So is your testimony that there will be information that is forthcoming as to who Sergeant Mongwe got this document from, not so?
Manje ukuthi kunolwazi ke ozoqhamuka phambi kwenkantolo oluzositshela kabanzi ukuthi zeni uSergeant Mongwe ngabe le statement lesi wathola kubani?
Yes, there will be information similar to ZZ3A, my lord, insofar as ZZ4 and all other ZZ statements, in other words, warning statement. There will be information forthcoming similar, to what ZZ3A is saying.
Why do you call this document warning statement. It is a form.
Yes, it is a form, my lord.
Yeah.
I'm simply
And
making the name,
this, and I'm sorry to interfere. And this document, it's like the judge's rules. When were they incorporated? 1939 or 40 what? You don't know?
I think it was in
1941.
I'll have to check.
Yeah, I think it's Watermeyer. And all that Section 35 of the Constitution has done is to take Watermeyer's thinking. That's all. Judges' rules. Even today, they are still applicable. Mr. Ramsepi. That's all. We're busy with a document which encapsulates what is applicable or found, what was applicable in
1931.
1931.
It was during, they were approved at a conference in Cape Town
That's
in
it.
1931.
Yeah. So I really, anyway, we can go on.
My lord,
Now you can go.
I think I need to put the court in a proper perspective as to the reason why am I embarking on this process. Brigadier Kininda says there is no authority that says what specific document must be used when a warning statement is to be taken from a police.
Yeah, fine, I heard him.
He says that in the context of the South African Police Services, he does not represent himself as he's standing there. He's representing the South African Police Services. We've got the minister, we've got the commissioner, the national commissioner. So basically, he is saying that the national commissioner is telling this court that there is no authority that says what specific documents must be used when a statement is to be when a warning statement is to be taken from a suspect, which is the reason why I'm now embarking on this process.
That's why I was just explaining the origins of the law.
Yes, my lord.
And this comes from England.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is basically the reason why I'm embarking on this so seemingly tedious exercise. It is not tedious. It is so seemingly tedious, my lord. But nonetheless,
No, it's because every warning statement in South Africa
yes, my lord.
since 1997. When was the Constitution? 1996.
The interim constitution.
Yeah, it's after the interim constitution.
Yes.
It encapsulates Section 35
Yes.
of the Constitution.
Yes.
Even this document, I am notified the following with reference to Section 35 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, Act 108 of 1996. And the person's rights are encapsulated here. That's what's important in this document.
I've got a different view, my lord. If the court is reading it in such a cursory way and say, this is what is encapsulated in this document, I've got a different view from what the court has.
Fine.
Thank you, my lord. Now, we'll be waiting for Mongwe. You said it's Agent Mongwe to come and tell us from who did he get this document from, or at least an affidavit from the person that he got this information from. Thank you. ZZ5. It's a document from Ennerdale. I think that is the same process. We do not know who this document comes from within the precinct of Ennerdale police station, not so. Specifically, who said take this document from Ennerdale, not so.
Yes, it is so, as well
Thank
as
you.
the last exhibit, my lord, that is from Poison. But these ones were brought to my attention by Warrant Officer Mukwena from my office. But same, my lord, Ennerdale as well as the Poison one. I think Advocate Muniti still has the one of Poison. Warrant Officer Mukwena was in charge of both. Also on those both forms, I'm using the term forms, my lord, no name was given as I indicated because the request for names from Advocate Munisi was not given. However, the same process, my lord, of disposing, of getting an affidavit from those relevant stations is also coming, and we should have that information today.
Lapho kumele silindele umnumzana uSergeant Monga ukuthi izini azi asitshele ukuthi ngabe wathola kuphi statement leso ke manje thi sihambe sibheke phambili siqhube sibheke uZZ5 yena ke uqhamuka lapho Enedale police station nakhona usho ukuthi akaze utshele ukuthi ubani umuntu owanisilekelela ukuthi izini nithuleke uhlelo le statement khona ke uyasho ukuthi yebo khona ke kunjalo futhi nalesi silandelayo sase Boyzen khona ke kunjalo kepha ke umuntu owamcela ukuthi izini amthulele ama statement lawo ke umnumzana warrant officer mukwena ke futhi ngemuva kokuhlala lenkantolo ke ngelanga elidlula ngala izolo ke kulaba hambe khona kuhambo lwabo ethizeni bahambe konke bacele wonke ama police station noma ikhumulo zamaphoyisa lezi ezabalekelela ethizeni ukuthola ama statement lana ke ethizeni babhale kuhlelo ama affidavit basho ukuthi yibo abobani futhi yibona ababalekelela ethizeni ukuthola ama statement la.
Thank you, Brigadier. My Lord, I do not want to infringe on the human dignity and human rights of other people, colleagues, not really people of our colleagues. I realize that it is almost 21 minutes past 11. It's 5 minutes after we should have taken a tea break, my Lord. May we then take it? And to also enable the accused here to stretch up. They've been seated for a long time.
athi lona iqiniso ke lelo.
No, I disagree, my lord. I'm sitting with a statement from Brigadier Ninaba right in front of me, and I can read it to the court. He is from the policy, the head policy in the component governance, legislation and policy in the Division of Legal Services of the South African Police. He made this statement, and there's no authority, there's no section or standing order that he says this. I can read the statement into the docket. So if I'm being told there is an authority, I don't know where it's coming from, because this brigadier is from the policy division of the South African Police, and he says there's no policy that prescribes a specific form. It's a statement under oath signed by him, my lord, and it was, as I said, it was done last year.
Brigadier.
Uyasho khona ke njalo ke ufakazi ukuthi lapha phambi kwakhe kune statement ke asiphethe esabhalwa komnumzana uPeter William Nimber Ninaba lapho kabhala khona ke ukuthi yena ke usebenza kuma office amakhulu ke la ngaphansi kwe policy in the component governance, legislation and policy in the division and legal services. Lapho usebenza kuma office amakhulu la benza khona ke imithetho futhi nalabahlala khona ke phansi malana nezemithetho zala iningizimu Africa.
Thank you, Brigadier. This is my time to cross-examine. If there's a need for whatever information that you have that the state feels needs to be placed on record, they will still have an opportunity in re-exam to place that information on record.
Uyabonga ke umeli ke fakazi kepha ke uyasho ukuthi uma ngaba khona ke udaba noma mhlambe into ongathanda ukuthi uyitshele ke inkantolo ke kwamanje akumele ukuthi uyikhulume ngoba uyena ke ubuza ke imibuzo ke uma ngabe kukho okuthizeni okukhohliwe uzobuya ke ukhulume uma ngabe ihlangothi lezoshushiso sephinda bebuya futhi ukubuza ke imibuzo.
No, my lord, that may be true, but I cannot agree to an assertion that is not correct. When I'm being told I'm wrong when I say there is no prescribed policy or standing order that says a specific form must be used. How do I agree with that when I know it's not correct? I'm sitting with a statement of the custodian of the policy. He stated clearly he's the custodian of the standing orders in the South African Police, and he says, and he's a brigadier for that matter, there is no prescribed form in the warning statement. How do I agree with the assertion that is put to me? And I'm being told now, because I'm under cross-examination, that will be wrong of me to agree to that.
Brigadier, you have just said that what I put to you is incorrect. When I say you are incorrect, and you are saying to me, no, you are correct. In other words, when I say to you, you are incorrect, I am incorrect myself. But the reading of that information that you have, that will be in the domain of the state. Remember, I'm not here representing the state. Do you understand? And there's a procedure here at court. Unfortunately, on a number of occasions, that procedure has just been let to go the way in which it went. But what I'm putting it to you that now is that you are wrong when you say that there's no authority within the context of the South African Police Services that says that that prescribed, there's no specific form that is prescribed by the South African Police Services, a form that should be used when a suspect statement is taken. I'm saying in that regard, you are wrong. And allow me to proceed with my line of cross-examination.
Fakazi athi-ke ummeli malana nale mpendulo yakho manwanyana nencazelo yakho ke leyo ke awukhulumile iqiniso ukhulume ke amanga ngokuthi awukho ke umthetho onephoqathi izinisebenzise ke iform ethizeni noma iform ekhethekile uma ngabe nithatha ke istatement kuyiboshwa noma kubasolwa.
My lord, yes, the advocate Nisi can proceed, but I can't agree that I'm wrong when what I know, supported by the custodian of the standing orders, agrees with me. How do I say I'm wrong? Unless then I must be referred to the state, to that authority. I don't know where it's coming from, because the statement before me comes from the custodian, a brigadier in the policy section of the police, and he says there is no prescribed form when you take a warning statement prescribed by the police. There's no such policy. How could I agree with what I'm being told, my lord?
Thank you. When you say you don't agree with me, I'm not saying you should agree with me.
Sorry, Mr. Minister.
Maintain your position.
We're still sorry. We're still going to go around. Can I have that document?
Yes, my lord, you may.
Because you're arguing about documents which you have, which I don't have. Can I have that document? Because you're talking about documents which were handed over. Hello, sorry. Did you hand over this document to
to the state advocate, my lord? That was last
the
year, my
defense?
lord.
Does the defense have it? Hello,
I'm just trying to
Mr. Ramsepili, do you have the document?
I can't
remember if...
Okay, you'll have it.
Yeah.
I want to follow the
My
argument.
colleague says we did give them. We can mark it Exhibit ZZ
No, fine. I'll just read.
3.
I'll just because it also has what it calls as an SAPM. But I'll just read what he claims to be the policy.
This is the relevant.
No. I want this one, which was being quoted by the brigadier. Yeah, this is the one you're quoting, eh?
Yes, my lord. Just that it is an attachment that I...
Yeah, I see. That's why I'm saying it is attached to this statement regarding interview with a suspect, which is called SAP 3M.
Yes, that's the one we're debating before court, my lord.
No, he's not debating that. Affidavit in terms of section...
Sorry, my lord, as the court pleases.
Yeah,
Maybe I need to bring the following to the attention of the court.
yeah.
Remember, the court is an arbiter.
Yes.
Now, when the court reads that document into record, there might be instances where the person who wrote that document, there are instances where that person who wrote that document may be required to come and testify.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. If you want him to come, no problem. I will issue the subpoena for you.
No, what I'm saying, my lord, is let that document rather be read into record by the person who...
No.
Thank you, my lord.
You are saying there is no policy. He says he can't agree with you
No, my lord.
because there is a policy.
No, I am saying,
Yes,
he is saying there is no policy.
that's it. And you are saying
And I am saying to
He's
him,
wrong.
He is wrong.
that's it. So,
Yes.
as an arbiter, I'm
Yes.
taking the two composite assertions, okay? And I'm entitled to do that
Yes,
because
my
you can't agree.
lord. We'll never agree because
Okay,
it's
fine.
cross-examination, my lord.
Affidavit in terms of section
Yes.
234 of the Criminal Procedure Act. Can you just read section 234 for us?
pertains to official documents.
Yeah, just read it so that we all are on the same page.
Proof of official documents, section 234, subsection 1.
Right?
It shall, at criminal proceedings, be sufficient to prove an original official document which is in the custody or under the control of any state official by virtue of his office, if a copy thereof or an extract thereof, certified as a true copy or extract by the head of the department concerned or by any state official authorized thereto by such head, is produced in evidence at such proceedings.
Yeah, fine.
Subsection 2, paragraph A. An original official document referred to in subsection 1, other than the record of judicial proceedings,
Right?
may be produced at criminal proceedings only upon the order of the Attorney General. Then paragraph B, it shall not be necessary for the head of the department concerned to appear in person to produce an original document under paragraph A, but such document may be produced by any person authorized thereto by such head. Then subsection 3, any official who under subsection 1 certifies any copy or extract as true, knowing that such copy or extract is false, shall be guilty of an offense and liable on conviction to imprisonment for a period not exceeding 2 years.
Okay, fine. That's enough for the purposes of this court. This is said to be an affidavit in terms of Section 234 of the Criminal Procedure Acts 1977. Peter Willem Ninabar states under oath in English, I am an adult male with ID number. He mentions the ID number. I'm 55 years old, employed as section head policy in the component governance legislation and policy in the division legal services of the South African Police Services, SAPS, holding the rank of a brigadier, and he mentions his telephone number. My duties at legal services inter alia include the following: drafting and maintenance of delegation documents, drafting of national instructions and revising of standing orders, maintenance of the database, version control and safekeeping of policies, national instructions and standing orders, and drafting of legal opinions for the management of the South African Police. I am the custodian of all policy, national instructions and standing orders in the SAPS. On the 26th of November 2024, Brigadier Kininda made inquiries regarding policy or directives of the South African Police dealing with the South African Police 3M statement regarding interview with a suspect, also commonly known as warning statement. I indicated that I could not find a policy or directive of the South African Police specifically dealing with the completion of the SAPA 3MM form attached as PWN, the one which is attached here. Paragraph 5.1 of the National Instruction 6 of 2014, that is the prevention and combating of torture of persons, attached as PNWN2, inter alia deals with the interviewing of persons in custody and provides as follows. Every member must follow the following instructions when interviewing a person in custody. 1. Before the commencement of the interview of a person in custody who has been arrested for alleged commission of an offense, members conducting the interview must identify themselves and inform the person in a language he or she understands, A, of the offense in respect of which he or she will be interviewed, B, of his or her rights to consult with a legal practitioner or his or her choice, or should he or she prefer to apply to be provided with the services of a legal practitioner by the state. C, that he or she has the right to remain silent and that anything he or she says may be used as evidence in a court of law. And D, of his or her right to apply to be released on bail. From the SAPS 3MM, Form SAPS 3MM contains instructions relating to the use and completion of the form. These instructions need to be followed when completing the form. It is my prayer that this Honorable Court take judicial notice of the above. I know and understand the contents of the statement, and I have no objection to taking the oath, and it is signed on the 17th of November 2024 at 10:15 by Brigadier de Camper. He is the authority who certified this. Can you give this also a citation? Yeah, you can continue, sir, if you want to continue.
ZZ in brackets 1 in brackets B.
Okay.
La kade khona ke befunda ke malana ne affidavit eqhamuka ke kumuntu othe wabhala ke lo hlelo lolu affidavit elibhala ngaphansi kwezomthetho lapho ke usection R234 ngaphansi kwezomthetho wala iningizimu Africa ku Act Procedure Act of 1977 la uyasho ukuthi wena ke igama lakhe yena ke uPeter William Nina Bay uyasho khona njalo ukuthi yabhala kwabhala ngaphansi kolwimi lesingisi ukubhala futhi ethatha isifungo ngaphansi kolwimi lesingisi la yasho khona ukuthi yena ke umuntu wesilisa ke onale ID number imininingwane kamazisi wakhe ke ikhona lapho ke futhi iminyaka u55 ubudala ke yenasho ukuthi usebenza wena uqashiwe futhi yasebenza usebenza ngaphansi ko section head shothi yena ke umholi noma mhlawumbe induna noma mhlawumbe umphathi wale section asebenza kuyona ke policy in the component governance legislation and futhi policy in the division legal services ngaphansi shothi usebenza ngezomthetho ke lapho ke labenza khona ke imithetho babhala khona ke imithetho zesiphoyisa khona ke la sebenza khona ke lapho ke futhi yasho khona nje usebenza ngaphansi kwe South African Police Services usebenza ke isiphoyisa sala eNingizimu Afrika ke futhi isikhundla sebenza kusona ke isikhundla sokuthi naye ubrigadier ke futhi bese wafaka inombolo zocingo lwakhe khona ngalapho ke futhi la ngenzansi ke ubhalile khona ke njalo ke ukuthi izinto ke abavame ukuthi bazenze lapho ke lapha illegal services abazenza njalo futhi into abayilandelayo ke lapho ke uma ngabe be drafta noma besenza ke ama maintenance wama document lapho ke futhi uma be drafta ke ama national instructions noma bephinda futhi bebuyisela ke ama order akade kuloko avele akhona ke noma mhlawumbe ku maintain ke ama database wakhona ke noma izinto abazibonayo mhlawumbe ugcina ke izinto ngendlela ephephile lapho ke kuma national instructions noma ama standing orders uyasho futhi ukuthi khona njalo ba drafta ke ama legal opinions no for lokuzana abaphathi noma ama manager kwalapho ke ngaphansi kwezesiphoyisa ke lapho kuyasho ukuthi na uyena ke umuntu obhalile ke uhlelo lolu futhi elibhala ngaphansi kwama instructions noma kwama orders akhona ke ngaphansi kwezesiphoyisa ke uyasho ukuthi ngelanga la nge26 ngenyanga kaNovember ngomnyaka ka 2024 ondluleke umnumzana ubrigadier Gininda wamcela ukuthi ke amlekelele ekuthizeni ke ngamalana nokuthi amtholele ke amapholisa akhuluma qondile ke noma phicelezi ngodaba lama directives aqhamuka lapho ke ngaphansi kwe SAPS akhuluma ngendlela abasebenza ngayo ke ngaphansi kwe SAPS 3M abasathi bracket M futhi ke shothi lapho ke ama statement regarding interview with the suspect also commonly known as the warning statement shothi lapho ke inkulumo abavama ukuthi mhlambe umuntu othatha istatement kumsolo wakhe futhi nomsolo inkulumo abajwayele ukuthi bahlale phansi bayixoxe noma mhlambe bayenzeke uma bebhala kama statement lawo ke uyiboshwa noma inkulumo yabasolo wakhe uyasho ukuthi kwakhe lapho ngenzansi yena ke akakazi akuthole okuthizeni noma okukhethekile mayelana nomthetho ekumele bawulandele lapho ke ngaphansi kwesiphoyisa uma ngabe egcwalisa ke ama form lawo ke SAPS 3MMM le khona ke lapho ngaphansi le form lena ke shothi na ihamba nale form leni bayibhala ukuthi PWN1 bese lapho wathi paragraph 5 open bracket bese athi 1 lapho kuma national instructions ka 6 of 2014 uyasho ukuthi lona ke bahambi noma besenza lo hlelo lolwabo lokhu ke uyasho khona njalo ukuthi lokhu ke okulandelayo la ngenzansi ukuthi bonke abasebenza ngaphansi kweziphoyisa uma ngabe besebenza mayana nohlelo lwabo lokuba nenkulumo mhlawumbe ingxoxo neziboshwa noma mhlawumbe nabasolo wakhe kwamele ukuthi balandele yiphi ke imgomo uma behlezi phansi bedikita udaba lolo ke futhi aqhubeka washo ukuthi abezesiphoyisa uma befika ke bethola ke iboshwa lapho zikhona ke ngaphambi kwenkulumo yabo kwamele bafike lapho bazazise ukuthi bona ke boba namagama iphoyisa elifika lapho kwamele litshele ke umsolwa igama lalo futhi lizazise ngolimi leli umsolwa nalo ayothi alizwisise nje kahle ke futhi bese lapho kuyasho ukuthi khona ngenza futhi atshele ke umsolwa malana necala azoba nenkulumo naye mayelana necala lelo ke futhi abuya futhi asho ukuthi ngenza amtshele mayelana amalungelo akhe ezomthetho lokho ukuthi unelungelo lokuthola ke ummeli noma ayikhulumele uma ngabe nganayo ke ummeli ihlangothi lozombuso lothi limtholeke ummeli ke futhi uqhubeka washo khona njalo ukuthi nake lapho ke kubhale ukuthi kumele ukuthi angasho lutho ngoba inkulumo nenkulumo othi ayisebenzise bangathi bayisebenzise mayelana naye ngaphambi kwenkantolo ezomthetho waqhubeka washo khona njalo ukuthi lapho ke amthetho futhi unelungelo ukuthi angafaka isicelo sokuthi athole ke ibail waqhubeka washo khona njalo ukuthi konke lokho ke kukhona la ngaphakathi bokurekhodile ngaphakathi kwalo SAPS 3MM futhi washo khona ke ngenzansi ukuthi lapho kule form lena ka SAPS 3MM iyona ke phethe ke imgomo noma indlela ukuthi bayilandele ehambisana nalo loludaba lolu ke futhi washo ukuthi lokhu kungasetshenziswa inkantolo futhi wafunga khona njalo ke bese bayisayina ke ngelanga la nge-27 ngenyanga kaNovember kumnyaka 2024 ngesikhathi imizuzu ewu10 ngemuva kwehora la ka10 kusasa.
Yeah. Yes, sir. You can continue.
Certainly, I'm going to request
What?
at whatever point that this Nina Bagai should come so that I've...
Yeah, no, you can come.
Yes.
Yeah, fine. You must call him. You want him here. You must call him.
Yes, I'm going to call him.
No problem.
Yes.
Because he is the head, according to him.
Yes.
Unless he makes an affidavit and he misleads this court. Because he says, I indicated that I could not find a policy or directive of the South African police
Yes.
specifically dealing with the completion of Form 3MM, which is the form you guys are talking about,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And this thing is akin, we've dealt with this thing. This thing is akin to, remember, I don't know if you recall, when we're dealing with the confessions. You remember the forms were not similar. Hello,
I was not involved in the confession at that point, my lord.
You remember?
Indeed, my lord.
Yeah, they're not similar. Mrs. Yoon came with a form. Mr. Colonel, yeah, the big gentleman, Limboto, they all came with different forms. But anyway, I'm not even making a finding, but I think all we're arguing about is Section 35. That's all. That's the premier law in South Africa concerning the rights of an accused person. So this is just recommendations. That's why even that document, which that gentleman in Khafreni says, the senior prosecutor says, it must be clear that you're dealing with Section 35. And I'm saying, we dealt with thing in 1931. I was not even born then. And we also did this when we were doing this case of Seth Cooper here in this court. 1962, no, sorry, 1972, when Sasso, Steve Biko, and all those gentlemen were being charged. They had the same argument about what does this form say. And the judge, who was Feljun, he was the JP of this division, Boshoff, he said, no, what is important is the rights. These are recommendations. Once there are, and he gave us this silly example, if you come into a police station and you find that there is no document which is enacted in a form of a confession, you don't tell the guy, hamba. You can take a free page like this one. You can take a free page and write warning statement and warn the guy in terms of Section 35. That document is valid. That's the law. Okay, fine, we can continue. Unless the doctor here. Doctor, am I talking?
I agree with the court.
I think it's more a question of substance over form.
Yeah. That's why I'm making that example, that we had 3 forms of different confessions. Rapudi came with 1, Mboto came with 1, and Mrs. Kronje came with 1. Maybe we can argue then that all these confessions are not confessions. Maybe fine. Then we can succeed, I don't know. But when he was asked, Mrs. Kronje, for instance, where do you get this from? He said, I get it from Mrs. Kruger, you remember? He's my head. And we normally take confessions using this form. Mboto is an old colonel. He said the same thing. Okay. So you guys can argue this thing. Right, sir? You want Nina Bar, you can call him, no problem.
My lord, I think there is something that the court is missing here. You are talking about that warning statement.
Yeah,
That
fine.
says each time a witness is interviewed, that specific form must be used. Now, we had an occasion And the court has just indicated that a person can get into a police station and say, I want to make a confession. And the policeman would then have to take a paper and say, and write on top, this is a confession, and takes down whatever that person wants to say.
Right.
But the scenario that we are involved with here, or handling here, is different from what the court has just mentioned, because Mr. Brigadier Kininda said, I spoke to accused number 2, and this is what he told me. Actually, I interviewed him, and there was no paper involved there. And the court has just correctly said that there needs to be something written down. But in this instance, which is what actually caused this whole inquiry here, is that there was nothing written down when Brigadier Kininda first met accused number 1, which then number 2, which culminated to all the confessions and everything.
Now that's not the evidence I listened to. The evidence I listened to,
yes,
was that accused number 2,
yes,
at Carltonville.
Mine, yes, madam.
yes,
You were told by Miss Mohani,
yes,
to say she has spoken to accused number 2,
yes,
and accused number 2 wants to talk with me. Am I correct?
That is accused number 1, Mohona, my lord.
Mohona, yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you went and introduced yourself, took out your card, you were in your car, then you engaged him, and then you warned him of his rights.
Correct, my lord.
And then he said to you, after having warned of his rights, he wants to make a statement.
To an independent
That's it.
person.
And you said, look, I'll get you some wood. That's the evidence I listened to.
that is exactly what I'm saying, my lord. That is exactly what I'm saying.
Let's go ahead. You can continue cross-examining if you want to still.
I'm very disturbed, my lord. I must really tell the court that I'm very disturbed, because as I'm trying to explain, then the court cuts me down, and the court, but when it's time for the state to explain,
but now
then
you're
the court
arguing with me, and I'm telling you how I remember the evidence.
But that is exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I want to put what I'm saying in proper
continue
perspective.
cross-examining this witness,
Right.
not me.
No, I'm not cross-examining the court, but what I'm saying to the court is that the court needs also to give me an opportunity to respond. For instance, the court has asked Mr. Sibanda whether what the court is saying is correct or not. It did not afford me the opportunity to respond to the court.
You read my judgment, no problem.
Thank you.
Whether I think I'm right or wrong.
Thank you, my lord. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, let's continue.
Yes. Now, Brigadier, I've just put to you an assertion that by virtue of saying that there is there's no authority that says what specific document must be used when one takes a warning statement from a suspect. That is wrong. And you've said you still stand by what you're saying, that there's no such authority, not so?
Mnumzana uBrigadier, lapho ke besakhuluma khona malana nodaba lokuthi awukho ke umthetho oniphoqayo esiphoyiseni wangaphansi kwesiphoyiseni noma la eNingizimu Afrika ekuthizeni kwamele nisebenzise idocument elithizeni elikhethekile uma ngaba nithatha ke inkulumo komsolwa asithi mhlambe uma ngaba kunengxoxo phakathi kwephoyisa nomsolwa asithi interview lapho ke.
My lord, I've said, and I'm standing by it, that there is no policy that says a specific form must be used when you take a warning statement. That's what even the policy holder says, my lord.
Uyasho khona njalo ufakazi ukuthi lapho ke awukho ke umthetho othizeni okhethekile obaphoqayo ukuthi kumele basebenzise idocument elikhethekile elithizeni uma ngaba benenkulumo nabasolwa. Futhi ne policy head nayo isho kona lokho.
But lastly, my lord, but just to put it in context, because it's important for me, it is also incorrect, because I'm here and it was referred to me, it's incorrect to say when I interviewed accused number 2, nothing was written, but also number 1, but specific accused 2 is not true. We dealt with my diary. It was in court, and the court asked me to make my diary available, where I made notes of my interaction that led to the confession. To say now nothing was written at all, as if it was just a discussion that was not written down, it's not correct. I made my diary available and copies in relation to accused number 2, but also accused number 1 is documented there, my lord.
Uyasho futhi khona njalo jobela ke inkulu bakhe ukuthi mayelana nodaba oluqhamukile phambi kwenkantolo ukuthi ngesikhathi esikade nenkulumo nomsola wesibili futhi nomsola wokuqala ke akukho lutho la akukho la kade abhala khona ke phansi uyasho cha lokho lawo ke amanga ngoba kune diary yakhe kade ayisebenzisa ke la kade abhala khona ke futhi nenkantolo yamcela mayamphoqa ekuthize diary leyo ibe khona le nkantolo bese diary kwezana la nkantolo la kade abhala khona ke mayelana nesikhathi lesi kade ufakazi khulumisana nomsola wokuqala futhi nomsola wesibili.
Now, I'm not so sure whether you are aware of a book that was written for the South African Police Services in its entirety, from senior to junior level members, managers and everything.
Anginaso isiqiniseko yini sokuthi ngabe unalo yini ulwazi lencwadi abayibhalayo abezesiphoyisa uqala kulabo abancane kufika ukuze kufince kubaphathi bakhona ke.
That was written. I'm not done. I just gave the interpreter the opportunity to interpret what I was saying.
Athi umile akaqedile ngokukhuluma ke ubuya futhi aqedile ngenkulumo yakhe ngoba ngaphambi lesikhathi ukuthi ukhulumeke.
That book was written by, amongst others, Brigadier N.F. van Graan and Colonel T. de Camper.
Athi incwadi yakhona ke yabhala ke abo brigadier ababili ke o brigadier van Graan futhi brigadier the second brigadier
N.F. van Graan
and
Colonel T. de Camper.
No, Colonel T. de Camper.
The same guy. The same guy, no?
Oh, which guy, man?
Just show the advocate this document which he attested to. Just show it.
No, the affidavit was written by Nina Ba. The commissioner was the Camper.
I'm saying the Camper, is he the same guy? That's all I'm saying, asking. That's
no,
all.
I don't know whether it's the same guy.
Okay, fine. He just has
I don't work with them. I don't know whether it's the same guy.
But that is now Brigadier de Camper. Okay, fine, no problem.
And I don't know where the court is heading to with this, my lord. Because I don't know. If the court asks me, is that the same guy? I don't know. I'm not working in the SABC.
No, it's because I read with understanding. This guy officiated at the signing of an affidavit where the allegations which are made by Peter Ninabar is that if he makes a false statement.
My lord, I don't know him.
Yeah, fine, okay.
I've never met him.
No problem. No
so
problem.
If the court asks me if that is the same guy, what should I say? I do not know him.
Okay, fine.
Yes. Now, those people, the gentlemen that I've mentioned, Brigadier N.F. van Graan and Colonel T. de Camper, with the legal support, the policing and detention services of the South African Police Services.
Athi labalisa ababili ke noma labahlonishwa ababili bezesiphoyisa bakhuluma ngabo kabo brigadier laba ke futhi lieutenant colonel u-N.F. van Graan futhi no T. de Camper bona ke basebenza lapho ngaphansi zesiphoyisa kwizikhundla zabo zaba policy in legal policing
support policing and detention services of the South African Police Services.
Support services lapha ke noma detention support services as a SABC.
Now, further, in writing this book, certain members of the South African Police Services also made a contribution. They are the following.
Ngesikhathi sikubhaka incwadi lena ke futhi nabanye abasebenza ngaphansi kwesiphoyisa ke nabo bathi balekelela noma basiza futhi laba balandelayo.
Major General M. van Rooyen.
To Major General van Rooyen.
He's a head legal support policing and detention.
Athi nayo sebenza lapho a head legal servicing and detention.
Brigadier J.A. van der Walt.
Brigadier J.A. van der Walt.
Legal support.
Usebenza ngaphansi kwe legal support.
Policing and detention.
Policing and detention.
Brigadier P.W. Ninaber.
Brigadier P. PW
PW Ninaber.
Ninaber.
Yes. Is from the Governance, Policy and Legislation Management.
Usebenza lapho ngaphansi kwe-governance, policing and legislation.
Brigadier MD Bobby
No Brigadier MD Bobby.
from Legal Support, Policing and Detention.
Na usebenza lapho legal support and detention.
It's Colonel M. Mate,
No Colonel M Mate.
Legal Support, Policing and Detention.
Na usebenza ngaphansi kwe-legal support and detention.
Lieutenant Colonel M. Fesser
Lieutenant Colonel M Fessel.
from the South African Police Services International Relations.
Naye usebenza ngaphansi kwe-South African Police Services lapho usebenza khona-ke umkhakha kuwona-ke umkhakha we-international relations.
Lieutenant Colonel M. Masindi,
Lieutenant Colonel M Masindi.
Legal Support, Policing and Detention.
Naye usebenza ngaphansi kwe-legal support and detention.
Lieutenant Colonel J. M. Murray
Lieutenant Colonel MJ Muley.
from Legal Support, Policing and Detention.
Naye usebenza ngaphansi kwe-legal support and detention.
Captain R.R. Nelamvi
Futhi no-Captain LR RR Nelamvi.
is also from the Legal Support, Policing and Detention.
Naye usebenza ngaphansi kwe-legal support and detention.
This gentleman wrote a book for the South African Police Services that comprises of 448 pages. Are you aware of that book?
Le ncwadi lena 444.
448 pages.
Incwadi khona-ke kukethi amakhasi-ke awu-448 aphelele. Ngabona ulwazi layo yini.
Are you aware of that book?
My Lord, if I may ask, what is the book about?
Uma ngabuza ngabe incwadi mayelana nani?
Now, it's about the operations within South African Police Services.
Imelana nendlela yokusebenza ke ngaphakathi komkhakha wezesiphoyisa noma kwezesiphoyisa.
No, but well, I'm not aware. If that title, my Lord, I'm not aware. What I know is that the PW Ninaba that the defense is referring to, it is the same brigadier that gave me this affidavit. The camper who was a colonel then that I'm aware of is a brigadier now, is still in the same division, and that is the brigadier that commissioned this
I've asked you about the book, not about the people, the book. Are you aware of this book?
My Lord, a statement was, there was an assertion or statements put before the question came, and a lot of names were read to me. I'm not sure now how could it be wrong when I comment about the names that were given to me. I didn't come up and put these names in what the advocate is asking me. He read the names that the book was written by these people, and these people contributed in the writing of the book. And I'm saying the only similar people or the known names to me in terms of their location is the two brigadiers. But without knowing the contents of the book, then I'm not aware of it. I'm aware of standing orders that governs the operation in terms of the standing orders, but I'm not aware of the book that deals with operations. That's why I wanted to know what is the book about, my Lord.
Uyasho khona ke njalo ufakazi uma ngabe aphendula ke malana nombuzo otubuzwa ke ummeli ukuthi ngabe unalo yini ulwazi lencwadi lena ke kade abuza ukuthi incwadi kade asitshela ngayo ke futhi nabantu abasiza ekuthizeni kubhalwa kwencwadi la kamagama wabo ke bese ufakazi waphendula washo wathi ubrigadier PW Ninaba uyena ke ubhalile statement lesade asilethile phambi kwenkantolo malana nodaba lwama warning statement malana nodaba lwama warning statement futhi unokuzana Brigadier T.D. Camper naye ke futhi naye uyena kade commission statement lesade akhulume ngaso senziwa ke ubrigadier Ninaba kepha ke ufunde amagama amaningi ke ummeli ke lapho ke futhi eqhubeka washo khona nje wathi amagama la akade wafunda ke ushuthi amagama abantu kade besiza ke ekuthizeni kubhalwa kwencwadi leyo ke noma kade belekelela ekuthizeni kubhalwa kwencwadi leyo ke.
Thank you. Just for interest's sake, one esteemed figure who also contributed towards the writing of this book is Professor John Dugard. I doubt if you know him, but let me give you a brief of a background with the Professor John Dugard. He's been part of the panel, he's been part of the members who went to the International Court of Justice and stated a case that was brought by South Africa against the war in between Israel and Hamas. Professor John Dugard.
I don't know what is the basis for Advocate Nisi to assume
Say, oh yeah, I hear you.
to
No, he
assume
won't know
that
him.
the witness doesn't
Hello?
know Professor
He
John
won't know him.
Dugard. But in
I'm
all
sure he does.
in all
Let's hear
fairness,
from him, man.
yes, but in all fairness, my lord, I think it's also important to mention the year in which this book is published to give as
I'm coming
many.
there. I'm coming there,
As
Mr.
well as the
Landry.
edition.
I'm going to argue about Professor Dugard. He's actually a friend of mine. He taught me
Yes,
at Wits
yes,
under apartheid.
yes. And he's still there.
And
Very esteemed figure,
I
man.
used to use him
Yes.
as an expert
Yes.
on international law when I was still defending ANC operatives. And he is the first jurist in South Africa to use the Geneva Conventions in fighting the Terrorism Act. And the judge who was sitting here, it was K. Lewis. He gave my client Tele Moerane. You must have read about Tele Moerane.
I know him. man.
Yes?
Yes.
He hung him. He gave him a sentence of hanging him. So I know.
That's death. Is death penalty, man.
Yes.
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 My lord, if I may also
Yes.
they say that Professor Dugard taught me at Wits.
Yes.
Yes, fine. We're bragging about him. And he was Charles Cassin, myself, Pesi Koboza, Reverend Archbishop Tutu.
Yes.
We were members of the Center for Applied Legal Studies
Yes.
with Van der Vijver.
Yes, my lord.
Professor Van der Vijver also.
Yes, yeah, I know. I know. Okay. Yeah. But I should know these guys. I'm 78 years old.
Yes. man.
So, I mean, please.
Now, importantly, he's also a contributor in this book. And if circumstances are going to call, we are going to call the course friend to come and give us a bit of a lecture. But importantly, the name of the book is called Iqabane. Have you ever heard of such a book?
No, my lord.
Thank you.
Ekatasho khona nzathi omunye futhi owalekelela ekuthize ibhaleke incwadi leyo ke uprofessor Dugard bese enkantolo yasho ukuthi yakhe uprofessor lo ke umngani wenkantolo futhi ke waphakama umunye ummeli washo nathi very amazi futhi nakade amfundisa ngesikhathi esikade afunda eVets kepha igama lencwadi leyo ke bathi Iqabane kepha ufakazi ngabe uyayazi igama lencwadi yathi Iqabane athi cha akalazi igama lelo.
Thank you, my lord. Just to give this court a bit of a background of what Iqabane is, my lord. No, I don't mean comrades. No, I don't mean the comrades, man.
Oh, yeah, was
I know it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't mean the...
I should know Iqabane which is.
It's not me, this book, man. I'm not referring to the freedom fighters.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Iqabane, my lord.
My mother, wait, before you go any further, my mother is Zulu.
Yes.
So you've heard me.
Yes, my lord.
Thank you.
Yes. So
So
this book called Iqabane is to the police services, South African police services, what the uniform rules of court are to an advocate who's plying his trade in the High Court of South Africa. It is also a book which is what the uniform rules of the court are to a judge who's adjudicating who's adjudicating matters on a daily basis at the High Court, such that if an advocate who plies his trade at the High Court of South Africa and a judge who adjudicates on matters at the High Court of South Africa says, I do not know what uniform rules of court are, they don't belong there, they are misplaced. That is what Iqabane is to members of the South African Police Services.
Is busy with argument and cross-examination at the same time. We submit if
Did I hear you correctly?
yes.
I'm not done with my cross-examination,
Oh, I see.
but
Okay.
I only was trying to give a perspective of what this Iqabane is. Now that Brigadier Kininda said he does not know this book. So this is not argument. I said to the court, let me explain to the court what Iqabane is. I use an example of the uniform rules of the court. So I don't know what is my colleagues worry about me making such an analogy.
Yes, any other further cross-examination, Mr.
Thank you, my lord. Brigadier Kininda, and unfortunately, you have cut my cross-examination very short. If you then not aware of this book, there's nothing that I need to take you on this book. All that I can put to you, all that I'm left with now, is to put to you that the procedure that you used in the interrogation of accused number 2, without using that prescribed form, was very irregular.
Athi-ke ummeli-ke yona fakazi usinciphisile-ke inkulumo yakhe kade imibuzo yakhe kade azokubuza yona-ke mara ngoba-ke incwadi leyo thize awuyazi-ke kepha-ke lalela-ke mara nodaba lolu-ke lwenkulumo yakho noma ingxoxo yakho kade unayo-ke nomsolwa lapho ngesikhathi kade unayo-ke awulandelile imigomo ngendlela efanele.
My Lord, I'll start with the last part. I totally disagree. There is no, when Advocate Minister says prescribed by what policy? Prescribed by what? Because we are governed by the standing orders insofar as the police is concerned. When it comes to the rule of law, it's CPA and other related legislation. That's what I understand, my Lord. Now, if I'm being told it's governed, it's prescribed by what? I'm not aware of such prescription.
Athi-ke lapho-ke uthanda ukuqala ngephuzu logcina kade akhuluma ngalo-ke ummeli athi lapho-ke cha akahambisani-ke naye-ke ngoba-ke uma ngabe athi umthetho othizeni umthetho okhethekile abakazi bawulandela awukho-ke umthetho onjalo-ke ngoba-ke uma ngaze ungabuka-ke mayelana nezomthetho zala eNingizimu Afrika khona-ke imithetho ekumele ukuthi abantu bayilandele uma ngabe senza-ke izinto.
So I don't agree with the assertion, my Lord. With that assertion, I followed what was prescribed in terms of warning the accused according to his Section 35 constitutional right and ensuring that he was in a clear and sober senses, and the process moved from there, my Lord.
Athi cha lapho-ke uyala-ke kahambisani-ke nenkulumo kammeli-ke ufakazi ngoba-ke khona-ke lapho-ke nawusebenzisa-ke umgomo noma umthetho ongaphansi uka-Section 5 wezomthetho wala Section 35 wala eNingizimu Afrika ngesikhathi sibabeka nenkulumo yakhe-ke mayelana nomsolo.
Thank you. Let me ask court, my lord.
Oh, I see. Okay, fine.
Yes, I'm placing this information on record. Page 18 of this book, paragraph 5 thereof, speaks about warning statements. What is it that needs to be done? How should warning statements be taken, and what form must be used?
Athi-ke ummeli fakazi malana nencwadi kade bayakhuluma ngayo-ke uma ufika lapho kule cast list 18 ku paragraph 5 lapho-ke ikhuluma mayelana nendlela kumele ukuthi warning statement mali bayithathe kanjani-ke ngayiphi indlela balandele yiphi-ke imigomo.
Thank you. I take it you not have a comment because you do not know this book.
Yeah, but my Lord, I'm being put in a very unfair situation. I've said I've not read the book.
Yes.
And it's not a requirement. I've not heard that before you become a police officer, you must go through this book.
Okay,
it was not taught to me even at the college, my Lord.
Thank you.
Certain sections within that book to be put to me, what must I say, my Lord? Because for me now to comment, I must acquaint myself with the book. It's an unfair situation, my Lord.
Thank you, my lord.
Athi-ke ufakazi malana nodaba lwenkulumo yencwadi-ke akanalutho angathi alukhulume-ke udaba lencwadi lena-ke ummeli kade akhuluma ngayo-ke ngoba yena akanalo ulwazi incwadi futhi incwadi akakaze ayifunde futhi incwadi labakazi bamfundise ngesikhathi lesi kade asekholishi lezesiphoyisa.
Thank you. Brigadier, a person at your level, that's not just an ordinary level. It's a super level. It's a managerial super level, who for all intents and purposes should be aware of this book. Therefore, ignorance of the law in these circumstances will never be an excuse.
Fakazi uyasho ke ummeli khona njalo ukuthi malana nomuntu ke osebenza kwisikhundla osebenza kusona ke ngaphansi kwesiphoyisa ke ushuthi afana ke nomuntu ongathi mhlawumbe ukwesikhundla sokuthi ube umanager wesikhundla leso kusona ke kepha ke uthizeni ungafundi incwadi lena kumele kube mhlawumbe into oshayisa undiva leyo.
No. Sorry.
Yeah.
We don't really understand the purpose of this proposition that is being put to the witness, and we submit that it should be disallowed, my lord.
I did not hear Mr. Baloyi. What is it that needs to be done with this proposition?
Yes, my lord, to put to a witness that he's ignorant of the law. I don't know what law is being referred to. We submit that is unfair. But my lord, for the past 2 days, Advocate Nis has been busy with warning statements and purportedly to challenge the evidence of Brigadier Gininda regarding the investigation that he was busy with regarding accused number 2. And Brigadier Gininda has ad nauseum mentioned that he was not busy with the warning statement. He was not taking a warning statement. He was busy with an investigation. And my lord, we've quoted an instance of a police officer who sees a person carrying a laptop in the street.
Objection, my lord. Objection.
Let him
This is argument. This is argument.
Mr.
And I am still cross-examining Mr. Baloyi, if he wants to take this matter up, you will have ample opportunity in re-examination. This is highly
No, let him finish.
unprocedural.
Let him finish.
The court is condoning it. Thanks, man.
I'm not condoning anything. We've been talking about textbooks and
Yes.
about people being ignorant.
Yes.
And this judge telling you that Dugard is my friend, etc., etc.
Yes.
So I'm sure you can be allowed to tell us what you think.
My lord, we're just elaborating on the objection that we are raising. Advocate Nis is busy with collateral issues. Collateral issues are only limited to, or only allowed to a certain limited extent. When a witness answers or gives an answer to a collateral issue, that should be the end of the matter. The question of warning statements we submit, it's a collateral issue. What the witness has testified about, it's the investigation that he was busy with, not a warning statement. He has testified that at a much later stage, a warning statement of the accused was taken. And my lord, we've mentioned the instance where a police officer sees a person walking in the street carrying what could be a suspected stolen property, perhaps a laptop. He approaches that person to say, in terms of section 36, I suspect you to perhaps be in possession of a stolen property. You may give an explanation. You're not obliged to give such an explanation. He's busy with an investigation at that stage. He's not taking a warning statement. If that suspect prefers to give a warning statement, to give an explanation, he will then, if he says, I bought it from a certain place, the police officer will then go there, establish if it has been bought there, and if indeed it has been bought there, it will be the end of the matter. But if it can be, there's no need to take a warning statement at that stage. He's busy with an investigation. And if perhaps it is established that he did not buy the equipment there and he decides to charge the person, then he takes him to the police station and he says, listen, you are under arrest, I'm charging you, and you can then make a warning statement. And that's precisely, my lord, what happened here. He was busy with an investigation, and a warning statement followed much later.
Yeah, you guys can argue all these aspects.
May I respond?
Yeah.
Actually reply.
Yeah, reply or respond. No problem.
He responded, then I reply. That in terms of a standing procedure.
Yes, you can respond and reply.
No, I'm replying, my lord, not responding. He was responding.
Yeah, fine.
Actually, he raised an objection through a response.
Okay.
The state, my lord, is lost. And I'm saying that with great respect is lost because at the center of what we are busy with now, there was a statement that was introduced that Brigadier Kininda was taken through that statement. The wording of that statement says, each time a suspect is interviewed, this document must be used. That is the gist of this inquiry, my lord. And Brigadier Kininda said, no, we need to consult, we need to get a permission from the prosecutors to get a statement. You can only use this statement when you have been authorized or you have consulted with the DPP or the prosecutors and everything. But the information on that document is very specific. Each time a suspect is interviewed, this document must be used. Now I've referred to this court. I've taken Brigadier to a book that was written by these honorable people, one of which is a friend of yours, my lord, that deals exactly with that specific aspect. And I'm going to take that up on argument. Thank you, my lord.
Okay, no
Let
problem.
me finalize my cross-examination, my lord.
Yes, go on, go on.
Please, just to
Now, I don't
respond
know what procedure is
to what my learned friend, he has raised a point, and we are entitled to address the point. If one looks at this form, and this point has been debated ad nauseum, paragraph 1.a says, the station commander must consult with the prosecutor in circumstances in which the prosecutor requires a warning statement. It clearly says a warning statement, and that is the point that we are trying to buttress here, my lord.
Okay, yes, Mr. Nisi, any further cross-examination?
Professor John Dugard is your friend, my lord.
Yeah, boy. When he was still the dean of the Faculty of Law
Yes.
at Wits, and Pfeiffer was working under him.
Yes.
And he was also in the council with Bezos, Charles Casson, Ante Halter,
Yes, my lord.
Sogot.
Yes.
You've heard of all these guys? Sogot. He died recently.
I think I've read something about him, my lord.
Yes.
Because I'm reading a lot.
Yes, that's good.
Yes.
That's good.
And I'm reading relevant material, my lord. Legal material.
That's
yes.
good.
Thank you, my lord.
Okay.
Let me just approach accused
Yeah,
number
fine,
3 to
fine.
hear if there is anything that I need to.
Madam, if I may also approach accused.
Yes.
I'm indebted, madam. Thank you.
Which years were you at VET?
From 1989 to 94.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, madam, may I approach accused number 3?
'89.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you for the indulgence, my lord.
Is that it?
I've got no further questions, my lord. Thank you.
Okay. Re-examination? Is it tomorrow or today?
There can't be a re-exam now, my lord, because accused number 1's case is still coming. We're just pending everything.
I
We're
see.
putting everything in a
You're right, you're right, yeah, you're
Yes.
right, you're right.
kade asho khona ke njalo ummeli wakhe kumsolo wesithathu ukuthi uqedile ke ngobuza ke imibuzo kufakazi okhona lapha phambi kwenkantolo ke
the court will recall the arrangements that we discussed with the court
Quite.
in chambers yesterday, and the arrangements will now come into effect. And I think maybe Advocate Nisi should rather be the
Are
one.
you still continuing with what you said you wanted to launch an application?
Yes, my lord. In
Because the JP is seated there, he's listening to you.
where?
At the back there. Don't worry, you want to see him?
I wanted to welcome him officially. my lord.
Yeah.
Yes.
He asked me about, I told him about the application.
Yes.
He wants to have a chat with all you guys.
No, thank you, my lord.
I want to have a chat with all of you.
So I'm not so sure whether then should I bring this application
No,
now, or should we
You can
then
bring it,
rather
you can
arrange to
bring
go
it.
and see the JP
You
first?
can bring it because
Thank you, my
he's
lord.
worried about the pace of this case.
Thank you, my
And
lord.
rightly so.
My lord, as I've indicated to the court in chambers, I was requested to assist with the representation of accused number one, which request I accepted. However, on account of the fact that although I was part of the proceedings, but I wasn't representing accused number one then, I was exclusively involved with accused number three. Now that I've been requested and accepted the request to also assist with the representation of accused number one, I deem it very prudent and very judicious for me to request that I be afforded an opportunity to go and read the record, particularly those portions as they relate to accused number one. All the assertions that should have been made by him, the level of cross-examination, etc., 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 and also decide, my lord, whether or not there will be a need. Okay, before making such a decision, I also need to consult with him very thoroughly. If he has got witnesses, I also will have to consult with his witnesses even before I come to court and put certain versions that will come as a result of my consultation with him and those witnesses. So on the basis of that information, my lords, I am going to request that I be afforded an opportunity to, I've already started to read the records, but I need to indicate that it is voluminous, my lords. It is very voluminous. And in the process of reading, I also need to analyze. I need to analyze and also create konje bathini ngesilungu ukubungula izinto.
Collate.
Yes, to collate, my lord. Now that is going. That's taking time. It's not an overnight thing, my lord. Hence, I then spoke to my colleagues and suggested that after my cross-examination, after I finalized my cross-examination of Brigadier Kinindo on behalf of accused number 3, I'm going to approach the court with the request that I be afforded an opportunity for at least 2 weeks for me to go and sit down, study the information, the record, which is up to now almost around about 35,000 pages. And also go and consult with Mr. Sibiya, who is not here in Pretoria, is at Morabi, at Bloemfontein. Yes, at Bloemfontein.
Who's at Bloemfontein?
I'm told he's in the East Rand, my lord. Morabi is in the East Rand. In Pinoni.
Israel, you don't know your country.
I do not know jails, my lord.
No.
Morabi is a jail.
It's not a jail, it's your country.
I know churches, man. Yes,
Modabi.
but nonetheless, man, I'll have to go to Modabi, go and consult with him there.
Yeah, fine.
And I'm very thorough in consultation, my lords. I just don't go through the emotions. My consultations are very thorough, that I must say. So I don't know how many days that consultation is going to take, but the total of all that I'm trying to bring to the attention of the court is that I am unable to start with my cross-examination now on behalf of accused number 1 to Brigadier Kininda. We had worked out a sort of a formula that I can go utilize the 2 weeks from today up to next week, and then we reconvene again on the 3rd, just for me to come and give an update as to how far am I with the process of preparing for the defense of accused number 1's case, my lord. Thank you, my lord.
Yes, Mr.
kade yasho khona ke
Ngakasho thi sizwe abanye bathini. Mr. Ramusipidi.
As the court pleases, my lord, as per our discussions, I am amenable that Advocate Munisi be given an opportunity to prepare the defense for accused number 1, my lord, as the court pleases.
Yes, Mshola.
I have no objection, my lord, as per the discussion.
It's not immutable, that discussion. I told you just now that JP is around. There he is.
But JP was not there, my lord, we were together.
Yeah, he's the head of the court. You'll be surprised. Hello?
But these are unusual circumstances. No one foresaw that the legal representative of accused number 1 will unfortunately pass on. And this is after certain propositions were made. We are of the view that the legal right to, or the constitutional right to legal representation has got to be given effect to, which entails taking proper instructions, going through, canvassing all the relevant material, and this is what Advocate Nis is asking. And my lord, we indicated that we are not going to object, and we therefore, my lord, support his request to be given time to canvass all these issues, my lord.
So the date after 2 weeks is how long? The Monday.
It is suggested, my lord, that we reconvene again on the 3rd of February.
What is that date? Is it Monday, Tuesday?
It's on a Monday, my lord.
3rd of February.
On the 3rd of February.
Will that be the last request or what? We don't know.
I don't know, my lord, really, I don't know.
Why don't we adjourn for a week and then you come and assess your position after that? Doesn't it make more sense? Yeah.
My lord, from today until the 3rd is almost a week. From today until the 3rd.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm just saying, doesn't it make more sense to come and back, like I did on the 8th, like all of you did on the 8th. I broke my Christmas vacation and came to court. Why don't we do the same? We come on Monday and see how far Mr. Mnisi is.
Which Monday, my lord? The only Monday we have is
next week.
And the following Monday is the 3rd when we will be back.
You say it's a holiday on Monday.
My lord, I'm saying the first Monday next week will be too soon for counsel to be able to give a feedback. And the next Monday will be the 3rd, which is a week, almost a week from now, my lord.
You don't read on Saturdays, eh?
No, it's Sabbath on
You don't read on Saturdays.
I've just indicated to the court, my lord, that I know churches.
You what?
I know churches. On a Saturday, is Sabbath Lingwele, my lord. So we pay homage to our Maker.
Okay, fine. Let's postpone then, for those reasons, to the 3rd. And the trial will continue as from the 3rd until, hopefully, It's finalized. Okay.
As it is the court.
kade acelile ke isicelo sakhe ummeli ke okadamele ke umsola wesithathu ukuthi kukhona ke isicelo abasicela ke abasolwa la inkantolo thizeni ke amele ke umsola oqala noma isicelo esaqhamuka thizeni amele ke umsola oqala ngemuva ukuthi ummeli wamsola kokuqala bekashonile umnomzana ke umngomezulu ke manje isicelo sakhe ukuthi khona manje ke icala libahlehlise for amasonto amabili ngenhloso manje ngembangela ukuthi ziyahlale phansi ke nomsola wokuqala akhulumisane naye ngoba ngeke aqale ke inkulumo yakhe noma aqale kubuza ke imibuzo kumnomzana okhona enkantolo ngaphansi kwesifungo ufakazi ubrigadier yakhe ngoba ke kumele ukuthi ahlale phansi naye akhulumisane naye futhi alalele lonke usicelo la enkantolo ngesikhathi lesi kade beletha ufakazi la enkantolo futhi umsola oqala ke naye asho ukuthi yini mhlawumbe ngathanda ukuthi ayibuze ke kumfakazi la enkantolo futhi nanokuthi uma ngabe unabo yini abafakazi bakhe anabo abakhethekile nabo kwamele ukuthi atsheleke ummeli ukuthi unabo abafakazi futhi abafakazi bakhe naye kumele ukuthi akhulumisane nabo ke ummeli abafakazi bakamsola.
Is that it? Mr. Brigadier, will you be available?
On the 3rd, my lord.
You are not going to Stelfontein mine?
No, my lord. I'll be available, my lord.
You will be available?
Yes, I'll shift things around.
Okay.
So, just before we wrap up today, I had previously requested through the court that Brigadier Gininda tried to find out for me if the reconstruction video that was conducted on the 16th of March 2015 was still available. Just to assist him, my lord, the person that took that video is Warrant Officer Dirk Johannes Boysen, and the PR number is 9/03/2016, my lord. So if that can be followed up via this PR number, perhaps it can be located.
I will assist him, my lord. I think between now and the next court date, we'll communicate with Mr. Ramsedu.
As the court places on the
Mr. Minister, it may interest you to hear this silly story about the case that I was telling you Dugard gave evidence in this very court in 1986, I think. Yeah, this group of 76. It was 1984. We called Dugard to come and present a document on our behalf.
Yes, ma'am.
That ANC cadres are covered by the Geneva Convention of 1949.
Yes.
And consequently, they cannot be charged under the Terrorism Act because they are soldiers of war.
Yes.
If you read your 1949 document about soldiers of war pertaining to guys who are fighting for freedom in their respective countries.
Yes, those international instruments, man.
That's it, yeah,
Yes.
1949, yeah.
Yes.
And we rubbed Louis the wrong way. He asked us, are you saying South Africa is not a sovereign state? Because the ANC apparently signed those protocols on behalf of South Africa.
Yes.
Israel to and then Kel Lewis, after that, he was facing the wall. He never faced us after that. Because he said, we don't want to acknowledge that South Africa is a sovereign
It's
state.
a sovereign state, yes.
And unfortunately, as you know, he sentenced, it was Tsotsobe,
Yeah.
and Mokherani. And the third guy, I think it's the tall boy. I think it's Beiding Gubani, something like that. On Friday, he sentenced them to death. We prepared a notice of appeal and spoke to Kel Lewis that we will be moving it on Monday.
Yes.
Monday, when we came to court, he looked at us and told Jack Unterhalter, the father to David Unterhalter,
Yes.
that unfortunately, Mr. Antahalter, your clients have escaped to a higher jurisdiction. And we didn't understand why.
Yes.
Then he says, I'm told they were hung on Saturday morning. So they're out of my jurisdiction.
Summarily.
Yeah, they were hung.
They were
That's what
just
we should
hanged
do.
summarily.
Yeah, so our application,
Was nullified.
yes. You must ask Dugard about that story.
Yes.
After that, he was recommended, Dugard, to go to the International Court of Justice.
Yes.
You know he served there.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, at certain quarters, Judge Ken Lewis was a very good judge.
He was a genius.
Yes.
Let's be fair.
Yes,
K. Lewis never kept notes.
yes,
Never kept notes. Everything in his head. He once ran an arbitration arbitration case. It involved a lot of corruption at the then Jan Smuts Airport. You see that the ground around the airport, it used to belong to some Afrikaner farmers.
yes,
And when they decided to enlarge the precinct of the airport,
yes.
there was a guy called Irregularity. He owned that piece of ground.
I assume it's not the Aglioti in the Zondo Commission.
No, it's not the guy I gave bail the other day. But you see, K. Lewis, I think for 3 to 5 months, he sat in that arbitration, never took notes, and he delivered the judgment.
Yes.
Award. You heard about his retentive powers.
I know that he was some body above the level of others, my lord.
No, no doubt, no doubt,
Yes.
no doubt.
Thank you, my lord.
Okay.
My Lord, yeah, on a lighter note, I wanted to say,
Yeah.
contrary to what Advocate Mnisi is saying, I do know who's Professor Dugard, and I actually interacted
Yeah.
with Professor Grant as well from
Grant,
that
yeah.
facility. And ironically, I dealt with them on a specific matter where they were the defense and I was representing the state. So contrary to his understanding, I think it's wrong.
No,
Grant is
because
not-
Yakinina cannot represent the state, my lord. The state
No,
is always
no,
represented
no,
by
no,
prosecutors.
no,
Now he's claiming victories which are not there.
Grant,
I'm
sorry,
saying
Grant?
As the IO, as the
Grant went
police.
to
Or as an
Australia now,
IO.
no?
Yes, as the
Okay,
IO.
yeah.
Is that-
And Professor Grant.
Yeah, he went to Australia.
Indeed, my Lord. Yes,
Yeah.
when he was still at VETS.
Right, yeah, no.
Correct, my Lord. So I just want to put that.
You're smiling, Mr. It's only not football, I know. I know some other things also. All right? Court will adjourn.